highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
A spot in the LCS is on the line. I'm Chris Smith. The Dodgers host the Padres in Game 5 of the NLDS at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio. LA's outfielder Mookie Betts has homered in consecutive games for the first time in his playoff career, but he said the team is just focused on the task at hand.
I think we just take it one game at a time, one inning at a time. We have a bunch of grinders, a bunch of fighters, and we know this wasn't going to be easy. You know, nothing's easy, and so you just got to take whatever cards you're dealt and play them, and that's what we've been doing.
Manager Dave Roberts is 5-2 in winner-take-all games, just one win shy of tying Bruce Bochy for the most all-time. And due to weather issues, the start time of Saturday's Game 5 of the ALDS between Detroit and Cleveland has been moved to 1:08 p.m. Eastern, with coverage beginning 12:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio. And Tiger slugger Kerry Carpenter was undergoing treatment Friday and resting a hamstring injury that could keep him out of that crucial game. If Detroit has to replace Carpenter on their roster, he would be ineligible if the team advances to play the Yankees in the ALCS. NFL, Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson is on track to play on Sunday against the Titans. Jonathan Taylor ruled out.
Why pay more for a great shave? Choose Barbasol, America's #1 brand of shaving cream. Barbasol's thick and rich lather gives you a close, comfortable shave for just half the price of gels. Barbasol.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tom Plate. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Phil Steele in 15 minutes. Theriot next hour. Mintz in studio in hour 3. Chris Phillips from SEC Unfiltered. It is a massive football weekend. Fired up to be here. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Y'all, we looked at this schedule for LSU all off-season, really for years, because they're made so far in advance, and thought, my goodness, Vegas against USC, UCLA with the return trip, a seldom-made trip to Columbia, South Carolina, Nichols coming into Baton Rouge. We looked at this schedule and thought, God, what a brutal September that's going to be. Man, they really challenged themselves. They did on paper. But the reality is, Yes, the opener against SC had a lot of juice, and those neutral site openers often do. But this first month of the season after that opener, LSU has largely existed in somewhat indifference. Not from LSU fans, but nationally. From that game against Southern Cal when LSU lost, it's largely been an out-of-sight, out-of-mind proposition. Maybe the biggest storyline since that opener was all the people that left the UCLA game. I mean, really. That changes on Saturday. Y'all, I love games like this because it's an opportunity to make a memory. It's an opportunity to create a legacy. Jacob Hester was a great LSU football player. He became an LSU immortal because of a Saturday night in Tiger Stadium. Logan Stokes was a seldom used blocking tight end who caught one pass in his entire LSU career. But that one pass came on a Saturday night in Tiger Stadium against the number 3 ranked Ole Miss Rebels, the only touchdown LSU scored, and LSU won that football game over the number 3 team in the country. We could go down the list, y'all. And in this game in particular, Billy Cannon's run, Burt Jones to Brad Davis. We could talk about Odell mimicking Dr. Cannon's run in 2012, Stephen Ridley's game winner. There's so many of those moments, and every one I just mentioned came on a Saturday night. So what's going to happen tomorrow? I don't know, but it's why we get so juiced for things like this. I understand that in a day and age of college football where there was a stadium's arms race and everybody, including LSU, got caught up in it, bigger, bigger, bigger. And now you got a 102,000-seat stadium that you rarely ever and probably never will fill consistently again. You're never going to fill that stadium to 102,000 when Nichols or South Alabama or any of those teams come in. But Tiger Stadium is and remains, in my opinion, and certainly a shared opinion by many of you and many nationally, the greatest big game venue in the sport that we all love. When it is right, when it is a night game in Tiger Stadium, there's a meaningful game being played against a marquee opponent. When these beautiful ingredients come together, it makes an amazing gumbo that we all feast on forever. Saturday night, they're going to celebrate 100 years of Tiger Stadium and some of the most amazing moments that we've lived or lived vicariously through others. But it's always different and a little bit special when you go into the stadium, or if you're not going to be in that number, you're watching on TV, and you know there's the opportunity for immortality. There's an opportunity for a moment that we're going to talk about literally forever. It doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes you have these games with all the buildup, and it falls flat. 2016 Alabama, 2018 Alabama. LSU was shut out in both of those games when it was a fever pitch building up to it, and it was just a flat horn throughout. There are opportunities like this that don't always come along. But Saturday night against Ole Miss, a top 10 team, when LSU is, for all intents and purposes, fighting for its college football playoff life to prove that it has come far from what it was defensively a year ago and from what inhibited it from winning that season opener against Southern Cal. Can you imagine a better opportunity than the one that's going to present on Saturday night in Tiger Stadium? Y'all, the juice in this town this week has been real. It has been awesome, and you can feel it. If you've been around this program for your lifetime, you understand what I'm talking about. There are certain weeks that just feel different, and this is one of them. And listen, LSU has a lot of history with Ole Miss. I'm not talking about the silly Magnolia Bowl trophy that nobody cares about. That thing is irrelevant. I'm talking about the very real history between these two teams that dates all the way back to the most iconic moment in the history of this program, which was Billy Cannon's run. One of the most iconic moments in the history of college football. These two teams share that history. And so it's another chapter of it. And we'll see what all unfolds. I've told y'all I have struggled with this all week. I've struggled all week with which way to go on this game. Because the situation undeniably favors LSU. This isn't even close when you just look at the situation. The situation is, it is Saturday night in Tiger Stadium. Brian Kelly, in his coaching career, is 15-2 coming off a bye in home games. Let me say that again. Brian Kelly as a head coach is 15-2 in home games coming off a bye. Lane Kiffin, in his time at Ole Miss, is 0-4 on the road against ranked opponents. Ole Miss is playing their 7th consecutive game, 3rd consecutive SEC game, back-to-back road conference games. LSU is coming off a bye, rested 2 weeks to prepare for this game. Ole Miss came out on fire the first month of the season like we all saw. They were averaging over 600 yards per game in that first month. They get into conference play. Boom. Lose 20-17 to Kentucky. Win 27-3 at South Carolina against a flaccid South Carolina offense. Very good Ole Miss defense, certainly. But an Ole Miss offense that hasn't gained the traction it had early in the season when it's been challenged. Can the LSU defense and the LSU crowd challenge them, limit them, and make this a 4-quarter football game? Ole Miss is a better roster, y'all. You may not want to hear that, but it's the truth. 1-85, Ole Miss is a better roster than LSU is today. But it's close. If the situation was reversed, if this game were in Oxford and Ole Miss was coming off the bye, I'd pick Ole Miss and do so with ease. But the reason I've struggled so much with this all week is because I know what that stadium can be. I know how hard it is to win back-to-back road conference games in this league, in our league. I know how, don't do it. I know, lost my train, dog. I was rolling too. I know what this can be for LSU as it's a team that doesn't look awesome statistically, defensively, but has undeniably gotten better. And you gave a great coach and great coaching staff 2 weeks to get ready for this game against a team that has really struggled when it's been challenged and a head coach that has yet to win a road game against a ranked opponent since he's been at Ole Miss. The situation undeniably favors LSU. If you're going to be in Tiger Stadium on Saturday night, go make a memory because you got an awesome opportunity to create one of those that they're going to run on one of those reels that we just played that you're going to see on LSU reels forever, highlight reels. You got that opportunity. Mason, we're going to, for the rest of our lives, we're going to watch Mason Taylor catch that 2-point conversion in the corner of the end zone.
Mason Taylor!
And you got an opportunity on Saturday night in Tiger Stadium for another one of those moments. We'll see if it comes to pass. Ton to do today. Our show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy in Louisiana. By the way, if you want to be in that number, it's not too late. Our friends over at Mockler Beverage and Bud Light, they ponied up a couple of tickets. Go to 1045ESPN.com. You got one more hour to enter. We're drawing at, we'll announce our winner in the 5 o'clock hour, but you got one more hour to enter. Go to 1045ESPN.com. Right there on the homepage, you'll see the tab at 1045ESPN.com. It says sign up here. Just go, fill out the form, and you're entered to win. We'll announce the winner coming up here in just a couple of hours. If you want to be in that number for LSU and Ole Miss, we got your tickets courtesy of Mockler Beverage and Bud Light. Drink easy with the official beer of the LSU Tigers, Bud Light. All right, it is After Further Review. We're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com with locations all over the United States of America. More than 30 locations across a dozen different states. If you weigh or measure something, they sell, service, rent the products that you use to weigh and measure. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. ISO 17025 accreditation. Their track system allows you 24/7, 365 access to all of their calibration certificates. And they love to do business with a handshake and a smile face-to-face like they've done for 75 years. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com. Michelli.com. Okay, y'all, Phil Steele's coming up. We'll preview the biggest games of the college football weekend. Theriot next hour. Mintzy's in studio in hour 3. Chris Phillips from SEC Unfiltered will be here as well. He's not on a plane today. He's actually in Baton Rouge. Ton to do. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Hey, we released our first clip of our video with Kyron Lacey and Duplessis Builders earlier today, so make sure you get to Instagram if you want to check it out, Facebook. I'll make sure we put it on Twitter as well. But little sit-down with Kyron about what he did in the open date week and also his thoughts watching Ole Miss lose to Kentucky. That's right there. Again, the NIL deal that Duplessis Builders has done with Kyron Lacey and Harlem Berry. We got to do a long-form sit-down interview. We'll chop it up into little bite-sized pieces for you that we'll put out on social media. So make sure you're following Duplessis Builders on social media. You can get to see all that content. Hey, look, Duplessis Builders, our guy Derek Duplessis, an LSU alum like I've told you about, mechanical engineering with a minor in aerospace engineering, loves the Tigers, loves doing great work as well. So Duplessis Builders, the NIL deal they did with Kyron Lacey and Harlem Berry, works hand in hand, helps promote the business and helps support the Tigers. If you're thinking of building a pool, an outdoor kitchen, that backyard paradise, trust no one other than Duplessis Builders. Online, duplessisbuilders.net.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
About that time, gigantic weekend in Baton Rouge. Vibes are immaculate. What better way to kick off this football weekend than with our guy Phil Steele? Make sure you get to philsteele.com. Take that Phil Steele Plus tour as well on the YouTube channel. Phil's here to preview the biggest games of the college football weekend with us. Phil, how are you?
I am doing great, Matt. How about yourself?
Well, man, we finally got one in Tiger Stadium, a night game that people are excited about. Vibes should be great. The buzz, the juice is here for this one. So we will get to LSU and Ole Miss here in just a smidge. Let me start tonight, though. A big one in the Big 12. I almost said Pac-12 again. Old habits die hard. But Utah's going to be at Arizona State. Utah at 4-1. How about Arizona State quietly at 4-1 as well? The Utes are 3.5-point road favorite. Phil, you got a lean there?
Yeah, I do. I know Utah didn't look great in their last game, and you wonder about the quarterback situation. And frankly, Matt, I'm not going to project Cam Rising to play. I'm not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe routine once again. But I think when you look at Utah, they've got the better defense, better team overall. And the last 4 meetings have absolutely clubbed Arizona State. Won 55-3 last year, beat them by 25.5 points per game. It's a must-win situation for Utah on the road. And they probably would have played better against Arizona had they capitalized on the first 3 drives. They had 3 long drives, 2 stopped on downs, and a field goal. Should have had more points on the board and didn't. And I think that put them in the hall. I like Utah to go on the road and get the win here.
Let's move into Saturday morning, Phil. Alabama coming off arguably the worst, most embarrassing loss in the history of the program. They gave up 40 to Vanderbilt as the number 1 team in the country. They do get to go home, but here comes a wounded South Carolina team that really got it put on them by Ole Miss this past weekend. Bama's a 3-touchdown favorite. Any hangover from last weekend?
No hangover at all for Alabama. I think they come out with a vengeance this week and full throttle right out of the gates. And the thing with South Carolina, I think if they get down early, they're in trouble in games. And I do expect Bama to jump on them early. And if that's the case, then I think South Carolina is going to have a long day. There are better games for South Carolina coming up. I think they play Oklahoma pretty tight. I think they got a lot of games coming up, but this is the wrong week to take on Bama. I like the Tide.
In the ACC, Phil, Clemson, nobody's really talked about them, man, nationally ever since the season opening loss to Georgia, but they've won 4 straight. They're 3-0 in the ACC. They're back in the top 10 in the country, and now they're a 3-touchdown road favorite at Wake Forest. Maybe a little sleepy spot at 11 a.m. Central. What do you think, Phil? Can Clemson keep it going?
Yeah, and I think what you just said, it's been that way whenever Clemson plays Wake Forest. They don't really get up for the game, and Wake does, and Wake generally covers in these games. But I'm very bullish on Clemson this year, talent-wise. I wish they would have not kicked as many field goals as they did against Florida State. Probably put a few more, or maybe even made more of their field goals. But I love Wesco and more, the true freshman receivers. Antonio Williams-Springstool. Klubnik looks great. They clearly have the better team. They're capable of winning by that. But this is not a great situation for them because Wake just generally plays them tough. So I'm staying away from that one. I like Clemson to win, probably right around the spread.
What about Washington? This is interesting, Phil. Giant win, obviously, last weekend at home. You nailed it. Avenged the national championship loss to Michigan. Now they got to go to Iowa. And Iowa's a 3-point home favorite, Phil. And I saw something about teams in this new Big Ten jumping multiple time zones and how they're maybe like 1 and 8 or something like that. Is this a tricky spot for Washington because of that travel, having to jump a couple of time zones to go play it at 11 a.m. Central, which would be 9 a.m. Pacific?
Yeah, to me, it's a tricky spot for Washington no matter when they played. If they played this at a neutral field in the middle of the season, both teams off buys, I'd like Iowa. I think they're the better team overall. When you look at Iowa, their 2 losses this year are to Iowa State, a team that's undefeated, maybe the best team in the Big 12 this year, and Ohio State, a game that was 7-0 at the half. And, of course, Ohio State and Columbus is almost impossible to beat. But I think Iowa's got a shot at finishing the year off 10-2 when you look at their remaining schedule and the type of team they are with Caleb Johnson and the defense. Now, let's factor in the situation. This thing's at 9 o'clock in the morning for Washington because it's a 12 noon kickoff. They're coming off a massive win and having to travel. And you are exactly right. It's teams that are in that 2 time zone thing in the Big Ten are 1 and 8 straight up this year. And it's Kinnick Stadium. You're catching the team off a big win. Now, ask Alabama about that. Coming off a big win, having to travel. We've seen a lot of teams get upset in that role this year. I don't think it would be an upset of any stretch. I think Iowa's a better team in a tremendous situation. I like Iowa here.
Let's talk about the Red River rivalry here, Texas and OU. Texas is a 2-touchdown favorite here, Phil. Both teams coming off a bye, but golly, Phil, Texas is better than Oklahoma last year, and Oklahoma bit them. It's a rivalry game, so you never really know what to make of it. What do you think about the Sooners and the Longhorns?
Yeah, and this is one that's clearly, a lot of times they say, hey, throw the records out the window. And this is one of those series where you literally could throw the records out the window. In the last 12 years, Matt, this game has not been decided by more than 8 points except once.
Great number.
And that was an absolute blowout, which was very embarrassing. But 11 of the 12 times been decided by 8 points or less. Double-digit favorites in that span? 0-5 against the spread, naturally. So, this is one where if you look at how the two teams have played, just put them on paper and lined them up, I'd say Texas by 17-21. But this is Oklahoma-Texas. It's a rivalry. The thing split down the middle, and we've seen some wacky outcomes. I got to go with Oklahoma plus the points.
Phil Steele's with us on Twitter at PhilSteele042. Get to PhilSteele.com. Take that Phil Steele Plus tour. We'll tell you more about that coming up. A few more here. What a loaded morning window that is. But moving to the afternoon, and Phil, here we go with that whole angle about the teams traveling in time zones. Penn State's undefeated, 5-0, ranked 4th in the country. They got to go all the way out to L.A. to play Southern Cal, who's coming off an embarrassing loss last week. Penn State's a 4-point favorite. Does that angle ring true here with the teams traveling, struggling?
I think spread-wise it might. I do think Penn State, if you look at them line of scrimmage-wise, has got the edge on the offensive line and the defensive line coming into the game, and I'll always take a team that's got the dominant line of scrimmage. They've also got a pretty good quarterback in Drew Allar that's got a 9-1 ratio this year. Singleton, their running back, missed last week's game. He should return. He and Allen are a potent combo. But, USC is no slouch, and they're at home. And you look at their losses, they could easily have beaten Michigan on the road had they not given up that 65-yard run to Mullins on the final drive. They led Minnesota by 7 in the fourth quarter and had the ball and fumbled. So they could be undefeated as well this year. So I think it's going to be a good game. I like Penn State to come out on top by 3. Okay. A little surprised the number's up there at 5.5.
Okay. USC in the points, Penn State to win. Get a couple more in here, Phil, before we break. Stanford at Notre Dame. We have, as long as Notre Dame keeps winning, we got to keep talking about them. They're a 23-point home favorite over Stanford, but Notre Dame's ranked 11th, and they're very much in the playoff picture.
Yeah, and all they have to do is run the table, and they're definitely making a playoff, and they could very well be favored in all the rest of their games this year. That home game against Florida State doesn't look that tough anymore.
Right.
But, when I look at this one, a great situation for Notre Dame. Last week, Stanford did not have their starting quarterback, Ashton Daniels. We don't know if he's going to play here. But they just traveled to Syracuse. They came back home. Traveled to Clemson. Came back home. Played a home game against Virginia Tech. And now they got to fly to the East Coast or the middle of the country again and play Notre Dame. So it's a third long trip in 4 weeks. The Irish have shown that they can put the hammer down on teams like they did against Purdue early in the year. I got to favor the Irish. And the other thing is, last year they beat them 56-23 on the road. I like the Irish minus the points in this one.
Last one here, Phil, before we break. Pittsburgh, another one of those those surprising teams sitting there at 5-0. Now Cal, again, Phil, we have to consider the travel. Cal's got to go from Berkeley, where they had just such a massive atmosphere and blew a huge lead. Now they got to fly across the country to take on Pitt. And Pitt's a 3.5-point favorite here. Does Pitt move to 6-0?
Yeah, I think the situation does favor Pitt. Normally, I like Justin Wilcox as a dog. You know that. I probably brought it up last week when they played Miami and Florida. But here, they are a dog, but what a rough situation. Game day was on hand. They lead by 25. They blow the lead. Now they got to travel across the country, play semi-early, I think 12:30 their time. And Pitt's just a team. When I talked to Narduzzi post-spring, I said, Coach, your defense wasn't very good last year. They gave up an unusual amount, 362 yards. And I said, you lost a lot of players. He's like, Phil, our defense could be better than you expect. And what we've seen offensively is since they've switched offensive coordinators, Desmond Reed looks great. So does Eli Holstein, a quarterback, the Alabama transfer, 66% with a 15-3 ratio. So I think they are the better team at home. I don't like to go against Wilcox as a dog, but I'd probably lean with Pitt here because of the situation.
Phil Steele's with us again on Twitter at PhilSteele042. At PhilSteele042, easy for me to say. Well, now I got a quick break. We'll come back, talk about the rest of the afternoon, the evening, of course. We'll get to the giant game out west with Ohio State visiting Oregon and LSU-Ole Miss in Death Valley. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Love telling you about Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. Visit agent225.com. That's agent225.com. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. Agent225.com. Remember, LPT Realty stands for Listing Power Tools. Effectively, the tools that LPT gives their agents to help better market their listings. Your property outpace anything that real estate's ever seen. That's not hyperbole. In 1 year's time, LPT Realty has accrued as many agents as some of the major national companies took in 8 to 10 years' time. Experience that LPT difference and experience with Darren James. Last year, Darren James, the number one realtor in the state of Louisiana on the number of homes closed. Nobody sold more homes in Louisiana a year ago than Darren James. You want the best? You want Darren James. Online, agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Our weekly visit with Phil Steele to philsteele.com. You'll see the Phil Steele Plus Tour linked to YouTube right there on the homepage and with those free selections and, of course, full explanation of all of Phil's picks. He's just the best. He's Phil Steele. He's with us every Friday here to preview the biggest games. Phil, let's jump back into that Big 12 where BYU, another one of the surprising undefeated teams, ranked 14th in the country. They're 5-0. They host Arizona. That's a 3 o'clock game Central on Fox. BYU, a 4-point favorite. Again, this one's in Provo. I know you like BYU at home a lot. Going with the Cougars here?
Yeah, and especially, the thing I find, Matt, is teams in the altitude, when they have 2 straight weeks at home or 3 straight weeks at home, they have a heightened altitude advantage. And I think BYU's got that here. Plus, every single week when I look at BYU, I go, they impress me. They've impressed me 5 for 5. Meanwhile, Arizona had a poor first half against New Mexico. Remember, that was 306, 305 yards. They trailed Northern Arizona at the half, barely won by 12. Poor second half against Kansas State. They did get past Utah. That was an impressive win. And then last week they trailed Texas Tech 18-3 at the half, never led. So they've been sort of uneven. BYU just keeps winning. BYU's gaining confidence every single week. And the line's cheap. I think it's based on preseason expectations. But the way they've played this year, BYU should be even a bigger favorite, probably about an 8 to 10 point favorite in this game. I like the Cougars.
A tough one to handicap here, Phil, is Florida and Tennessee. Florida's played better their last 2 games with the bye mixed in. Tennessee's coming off a really disappointing loss there at Arkansas, so now they come home. Do they bounce back? Tennessee's a big favorite. 15 is the line there, but in another rivalry game, how do you see it going on Rocky Top?
And Nico's struggled on the road the last 2 games, hasn't looked that great, but he is back at home, so he should be better. They're playing with legitimate revenge. They're an explosive team. They've got the defensive edge. Their defense allows just 132 yards below their average, Florida 30 below. But, Florida does really well in this series. And as you mentioned, they played well the last two games. They're a large underdog. I like the way Mertz and Lagway are playing. I don't have a dog in the fight in this one, Matt. Who do you like?
Tennessee at home. I don't know that I'm a big believer in Billy Napier getting this thing righted, but it is interesting, Phil, because Florida has played better. And if they can go on the road and maybe humble Tennessee a little bit, does Billy Napier start to get off the hot seat a little bit? We'll see, but I'd probably lean Tennessee at home. Another SEC one that I'm curious about is what happens with Vandy this week. Phil, I'm guessing a lot of people are going to jump on that Vandy bandwagon, but they got to go on the road now after the biggest win in the history of their program, and they're a 2-touchdown underdog at Kentucky, and we know that Mark Stoops and his defense have been pretty good. So Vandy at Kentucky, what do you make of this?
Yeah, and generally, Matt, there has been definitely a letdown for teams off of big wins. Come off a big win, you're favored in the next game, you end up losing or, having a close game. But the good news for Vanderbilt, they're a 2-touchdown underdog. So I think they're a resilient team. Diego Pavia, what a great story. And I don't think they suffer a letdown because they're a 2-touchdown underdog. The whole world still thinks they're going to lose and lose big. The whole world still thinks Vandy's not a good football team. I remember just 2 weeks ago, they took Missouri to the wire.
Mm-hmm.
They probably could have won that game had they kicked a field goal in regulation. They would have won that game. They ended up losing it in overtime. So I'm going to say this Vanderbilt team's somewhat scrappy. I like Vanderbilt plus the points. I would definitely be against Vanderbilt if they were favored in this game. I would be against them 100%. But as a 2-touchdown dog, I think they got a shot.
What about Iowa State, Phil? There's another undefeated team that I'm not sure that I thought would be sitting there at 5-0, especially having already beaten Iowa. But they got to go on the road to Morgantown. West Virginia's breaking out some specialty uniforms, and Iowa's a 3-point road favorite here in Morgantown. You think the Cyclones can keep it going? It's a 7 o'clock night game on Fox.
I'll say this about West Virginia. Last week they rushed for 389 yards. Now, generally, when you do that, you've got some 70 and 60 and big runs. Their longest touchdown run was 15 yards last week, so they just mauled Oklahoma State at the line of scrimmage. They're at home. They're fired up. But I do think Iowa State's probably the best team in the Big 12. In fact, when I went over the team post-spring with Coach Campbell, almost every single position we went over, he said, Phil, this is the best we've been since we've been here. Or he said, this is the most experienced we've been at this position since we've been here. Or this is the most talented we've been at this position since I've been here. So I think it is his best team. They're 5-0. They're winning as a favorite. I find it tough to go against either team here. I like Iowa State to win a close one on the road.
Phil, what about K-State, Colorado, as we stay in the Big 12? K-State is a team that already has a loss, the crazy end of the first half against BYU, but we were both on K-State that game. But now they got to go to Colorado, another surprising 4-1 football team. This is sort of a moving day in the Big 12 for these two teams.
Yeah, I agree. If Colorado wins this game, I'm going to start being on the Buffs the rest of the year because they'll have proven that they can do it. And the thing is, when you start winning games, ask BYU, when you start winning games early, you start gaining confidence week after week after week. But I do feel Kansas State's better at the line of scrimmage, especially, they've run the football for 252 yards per game, almost 7 yards a carry. Colorado can't run the football. Kansas State's defensive front seven has a large edge here. They don't allow a lot of rush yards. They get pressure on the quarterback. I think that, like Nebraska, they're a team similar to Nebraska, and Nebraska just pounded Colorado, led that thing 28-0 at the half. Now, granted, that was at Nebraska. This one's at Colorado. But K-State's a veteran enough team coming off a bye to be able to go on the road and handle this. I like Kansas State to get this one by a touchdown or more.
One quick one here in the G5. Boise State visits Hawaii. Phil, we've always talked about teams leaving the mainland, going out to Hawaii. Boise's a big touchdown. I'm a favorite. So I'm looking at 20.5, so 3-touchdown favorite. Everyone's kind of keeping an eye on Ash and Genty as well. Any issue for Boise going to the island?
No. In fact, last week Genty didn't even play the second half, and they still won by 32 points. And they've covered their last 4 times they traveled to Hawaii. That wasn't during 2020. So I think Boise gets this one very comfortably. And they were my pick to represent the group of 5. I think it's between Boise, Tulane, and Army are all right up there.
All right, Phil, the two biggest ones certainly in college football this weekend. Ohio State goes to Autzen. The Ducks, seldom a dog at home, but they are a 3-point home underdog with maybe the best team in the country coming in. Ohio State at Oregon. nighttime at Autzen. How do you see it?
Yeah, and Autzen's one of the toughest venues to play in. And, Oregon has had really good success versus top 10 teams. In fact, the last 10 years, they're an outstanding 11-6 in games against top 10 teams. Ohio State actually has about a 40% record against, or a 35% record against top 10 teams the last 7 years. So they don't fare well in these games. I think when you look at Oregon, they haven't covered the last 2 weeks, but they easily could have. The UCLA game should have been 35-3 at the half. They gave up that 96-yard interception return for a touchdown. The Michigan State game, they led 31-0. Michigan State kicks a field goal with a few seconds left in the game to get the cover. But I think Oregon, this is probably the biggest home game ever for Oregon, so they're fired up. They've got the quarterback edge with Dylan Gabriel over Will Howard, and they've got a pretty strong defense. Their defensive front seven is close to Ohio State. Their receivers are close to Ohio State. They're at home. I'm going to take the Ducks plus the points in the upset.
An outright upset for the Ducks?
Let's go for the Ducks outright.
Oh, boy, that would shake up the landscape. All right, Phil, last one. It's the one everybody here has been waiting on. Ole Miss and LSU, they'll celebrate 100 years of Tiger Stadium Saturday night, Death Valley. Weather's going to be great. The juice is here for this game finally. We'll get a home game with some juice at LSU. Tigers haven't lost to Ole Miss and Baton Rouge since 2008. Can they extend that streak?
I believe they will. I think when I look at the two teams, there's no doubt that the offenses are both potent, and defensively you got to give the edge to Ole Miss. You look at Ole Miss's rush D, they're giving up 1.8 yards per carry. They got 23 sacks this year, so they clearly have the advantage there. But I think LSU has some outstanding advantages in this game. One would be the home field edge. They're a great home dog. It's at night in Death Valley. The second would be that the home team has absolutely dominated this series. I believe it's 11-1 the last 12. The home team is covered, so you like that. And as you mentioned, it's been a long time since Ole Miss has won here. And then the other factor, LSU is fresh off a bye, and Ole Miss is actually playing a seventh straight game, and it's their second straight SEC road game. So all those factors say the intangibles are with LSU, and they're the home dog. They're getting 3.5 here. I like LSU to pull the upset this week and get the win at home at Death Valley.
Boy, if LSU gets this win, it sets up what should be a really fun second half of the season for the Tigers if they can avoid that second loss. He is Phil Steele on Twitter at PhilSteele042. Make sure you get him at PhilSteele.com, STEELE, PhilSteele.com. That's where you find that Phil Steele Plus Tour. Phil, let's remind him, as always, about the Phil Steele Plus Tour and how it's going.
Yeah, and the Phil Steele Plus Tour last week actually had a losing week. It's shocking. And so whenever it has a losing week, I always throw a guarantee on the next week. And the guarantees have done extremely well. I think last year I had 2 guarantees on the tour that went 4-1 and 4-1. I got 5 plays up that are selections, guaranteed to win, or you get my Inside the Press Box newsletter free the next week. And the quick hitters are guaranteed. I had a guarantee on them earlier this year. They won in that guarantee. Both of them are guaranteed. It's a double guarantee week. Make sure you check out the tour and take advantage of a guaranteed winning week. PhilSteele.com.
Just the best. STEELE, PhilSteele.com. Phil, enjoy the football this weekend. We appreciate it as always.
A lot of fun as always, Matt. Enjoy that football game on Saturday night.
Well, the result will have a lot to do with my enjoyment, no doubt. Thank you, Phil. We appreciate it. That is Phil Steele. He's with us every Friday. We'll continue. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery, 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. You know where they are by now. Siega near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Tell you every day, buy local, shop local. And y'all, it's October. You're finally getting that little taste of fall right now as we're seeing temps dip into the 60s, the upper 50s. Halloween is right around the bend. It is time to start decorating your home for Halloween and for the fall. You want to get those fall vegetable garden seeds in the ground. If you want those fall bedding plants and fall flowers, they got them at Clegg's, and pumpkins everywhere. I mean, just hundreds and hundreds of pumpkins, all different colors and shapes and sizes. They got them. You want pumpkins and hay bales and squash and gourds and scarecrows. You want to decorate for fall. This is the time to do it, and the place to go is Clegg's Nursery. Get by any of the 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area and tell them Matt sent you in when you see our friends at Clegg's Nursery.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment.
Dave's back on.
Coors Light. Choose chill.
There it is, the extra mile. on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Here is the game over. Jones back to throw, looking for a receiver. He has Davis. It is good for football! On the last play of the game, Brad Davis gets a bird pass to the corner of the end zone.
Ah, yes, the night the clock stopped, the 1-second blues, Burt Jones to Brad Davis, one of the greatest moments, not only in the history of the LSU-Ole Miss series, but one of the greatest moments in the history of Tiger Stadium. All throughout the show today, we will be reliving a lot of those great LSU-Ole Miss moments, so you will not want to go anywhere. Terrio's coming up after the top of the hour. We'll have our full ride radio hours. Mincy will be in studio at the top of hour number 3. Talk a little LSU-Ole Miss, do our pick 'em, all that good stuff. So we've got a ton to do. Of course, it is LSU-Ole Miss. It's also Saints-Bucs, and the Saints injury report is out just very quickly. If you have not yet seen the news, 5 New Orleans Saints players have officially been ruled out for this week's game. Dennis, I'll run through that here in just a quick second. Dennis Allen was asked, though, about the changes on the offense. Obviously, among those out, Derek Carr, Taysom Hill, a couple of linemen as well, which we'll delve into. But here was DA on if the personnel absences will change the way they play offensively.
You know, schematically, I don't know that it changes just a ton of what we do. You know, we'll have to see how the game plays out. I'm sure that, you know, Todd and those guys will have some blitz packages up for us that'll be challenging for us, you know, and it's really going to be about our guys knowing the game plan, understanding the defensive structure, and being able to get on the right guys, whether it be in the run game or in pass protection.
We'll talk a lot about the game, some of the nuance of it today as we go along, but the injury report is as follows. As you know, Derek Carr is out, and Spencer Rattler will start. That's been a huge talking point, huge storyline all week. Carr is out. Taysom Hill is out. Cesar Ruiz is out for this game as well. Pete Werner, Will Harris Jr. have also been ruled out. Now, among those questionable are Peyton Turner, Lucas Patrick, and Kendre Miller. So, of great significance there is Lucas Patrick, because you would certainly assume that Connor McGovern is in line to start at center for the New Orleans Saints, with Shane Lemieux going to IR. So if Lucas Patrick's available, he starts at left guard. If not, you're probably starting Nick Saldiveri at left guard again. And remember, it was in the second half against Kansas City that Nick Saldiveri was playing so poorly that they yanked him, moved Patrick from center to guard, and put Connor McGovern in at center after having been with the Saints for a total of 4 days. I think that was the 4th day he was with the team. That's how poorly Nick Saldiveri played. Do you really want to rely on that? So Lucas Patrick with a chest injury designation. We'll see if he has the chest to play for the Saints against. Can I get a rim shot or something? I mean, playing some old Les Miles clips, might as well. Anyway, we'll see if Lucas Patrick will be good to go for the New Orleans Saints. And obviously, the struggles this offense has had without Taysom Hill, they'll be without him here for a 3rd consecutive game. We'll delve into a little bit more of that. Willie Gay's good to go. Rashid Shaheed, Alvin Kamara, all good to go. So the good news there, even though you're going to be without Pete Werner again, you're getting Willie Gay back. So DeMario Davis, Willie Gay at linebacker. I mean, I don't know what Willie Gay had done, but we saw him in a hospital being wheeled out in a wheelchair with his arm in a sling and his hand wrapped. But that dude, after just about a week's time, is good to go. So good on him for getting out there and making it happen for his team. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by our friends over at Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. Remember our friends over at Shawbills, Ms. Beth Barron was named the Modern Tire Dealer of the Year. Modern Tire Dealer of the Year. That's a national recognition for Miss Beth Barron over at Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, and it's so warranted. Her dad, Mr. Charlie, opened up Shawbills more than 50 years ago, back in 1968, and she's taken the baton and continued to maintain all of those same values. The Charlie's dozen. Name brand tires, wholesale prices, treating you like family. So if you need tires, you're shopping tires, name brand tires, wholesale prices, and of course, they'll treat you like family. It's at Shawbills. Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. Shawbills, we keep you rolling. All right, Muse tailgate segment, hit it.
At LSU, we play hard, but we tailgate harder. Light your burner, fire up the grill. It's time for our Football Friday tailgate recipe of the week with Chris's Specialty Foods. 4 locations, or go to chrisspecialtyfoods.com.
All right, Coben Linedecker in studio with us. Man, oh man, we finally got that fall weather. It's going to be gorgeous. Like every morning you wake up and you got temps upper 50s, low 60s right now. A little cool front. It feels like a fall football Saturday that we got. It's going to be perfect to throw something on the grill. How are you, man?
All good, man. Happy to be here, Matt.
I bet so, especially with this time of year. So what's we always try to do the eat the competition. That'll get easier with some other games.
Yeah.
Not really when you're playing the Rebels, the Lancer. I don't think y'all sell shark at Chris's, do you?
No shark.
So no shark. So what do you do on a beautiful fall Saturday like this?
Yeah, so today I brought some of our household specials. We did some filet medallion kebabs that we roasted and handmade and put on skewers, and then we have our twice baked potatoes side to go with a good steak. So that's the hot food I brought, and then of course holidays coming around, or even just thank you presents. I threw together a good steak and bourbon gift box.
Let's go.
So we got some 2 fillets, a ribeye in there, our cream spinach, our potatoes, and then a good old bottle of bourbon.
So y'all will people can buy those gift boxes for a client, family member, whatever. Do they choose what they want to go into the box, or are they already pre-made?
So we have it both options. A lot of people do it for the holidays or do it just for thank you or boss gifts or family ideas. So you can do a set steak box or pork tenderloin box or chicken box, or if you walk around the store, see things you like, you can put together your own box. Either way works.
Heck yeah, and y'all can ship them?
Absolutely.
That's awesome, man. ChrisSpecialtyFoods.com. That's the website, ChrisSpecialtyFoods.com. And we talk about deer process. It's hunting season, so people are going to be out in the woods killing Bambi. They need to get in process. Y'all do that at all the locations?
Yeah, all the locations. So you can drop off in your ice chest, and then we can help you with your processing.
Yeah, if you go to the website, there's a deer processing tab right there at the top, so you can go get all the options and everything right there. ChrisSpecialtyFoods.com. All right, let's get back to what you did. So you said some filet medallion kebabs. you've already got it prepared here, which is awesome, and the presentation looks so good. Walk me through how you put together these kebabs.
Yeah, so at all the locations, we have, of course, our fillets and ribeyes that we offer, and then off of the fillets that we can't sell as fillets, we have these medallion tips that come out, and we usually package them about 4 to 5 per pack, and then they make a great little appetizer or stuff like this for kebabs and everything. So people really love the medallions that we make.
So why can't you sell? Because they as they come out, they're just too small to sell as a fillet.
Yeah, so it's usually like the butt or the tips of them that don't make a perfect size fillet. So we don't want that good meat to go to waste. So we cut it up and make medallions out of it.
Is that also what sometimes like when you'll make you'll make those sort of like filet burgers?
The ribeye and filet burgers.
Ribeye and filet burgers.
Same thing. Absolutely.
So is that something people could do if they do get those medallions, those tips, if they didn't want to do something like a kebab is very resourceful, right? This is a great way to do it.
Yeah.
And it looks like that would be pretty easy to prepare.
Yeah, absolutely. And parents love them for kids. You know, you don't want to buy your kid a whole fillet. The medallion's a great thing to do. Or use it as an appetizer.
That is a really good point. So also when you're grilling this, are you grilling the medallions separately and then skewering them, or are you putting everything on the skewer at once?
No, you can put everything on the skewer at once. I did that on the grill for about 12 minutes on each side, as hot as I can get it, making sure all the vegetables are cooked throughout. And then I like my steak medium rare, so I got it like 450, 500, and just 12 minutes on each side, and it was ready.
So that's my question about kebabs. So like that's whenever my wife likes kebabs, one of the things that I sometimes struggle with is like I like a rarer piece of meat, and so how do you balance making sure the vegetables are cooked properly and then also get the same temperature on your steak or whatever, or chicken or whatever type of kebab? Because y'all have a ton of kebabs at Christmas.
Yes, yeah. So like for the steak temperatures, like let's say your spouse or whoever wanted a medium well or a little more well done steak, after those 12 after those 12 minutes, you could just cut that grill off, let it sit on there another 2 or 3 minutes. And it'll continue to cook, and it'll come out a perfect temperature.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, we got about 20 seconds. Coben, chrisspecialtyfoods.com, chrisspecialtyfoods.com, chrisspecialtyfoods.com. Get to the website. You see all the good stuff there. Pick for tomorrow's game.
I'm going to go similar to the USC score. I'm going to go 31 LSU, Ole Miss 28.
Might be stealing my score out here. I don't know, something like that, man. Thanks for coming in, dude. Always good to see you.
Thank you, Matt.
chrisspecialtyfoods.com with our tailgate segment. Theriot next.
AFR.
We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit. Your first option when it comes to buying land is First South Farm Credit. Ben McDonald, former first pick in the first round of the draft. When Ben was buying his hunting property in Mississippi, his first call was to First South Farm Credit. First South Farm Credit has been first in agriculture since 1916. Farmers know about First South Farm Credit if you need the 1,000 acres for agriculture. But what you may not know, if you're thinking of buying that recreational property, like right now, hunting season, you're sharing a lease with someone else next year. You don't want to share a lease with somebody else. You want your own place. First South Farm Credit can make that happen. Maybe you're looking for tax incentives. Owning timberland can be a great tax incentive as well. Ask your CPA. I'm not making any promises here, but ask your CPA about the benefits of owning timberland for tax benefits. Whatever you do, make sure your first call is to First South Farm Credit. Online at firstsouthland.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
This is SportsCenter.
It's a winner-take-all Game 5 between the Padres and Dodgers. I'm Chris Smith. Yu Darvish gets a nod for San Diego. He has a 1.59 ERA and 4 starts versus the Dodgers this season, including Game 2 of this series. And that is why Padres manager Mike Shilt's confidence is sky high.
He's got 203, wins in his career. Pitched a long time, picked them in big stages. Clearly we're going to have one on Friday. Pitching international competition. He's pitched in that stadium obviously very well, and recently, he's one of the better pitchers of this generation. So that's why the confidence is high for me.
Yoshi Yamamoto will be on the hill for L.A., making this the first postseason game all time where Japanese-born pitchers started against each other. Coverage begins 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Meanwhile, due to weather issues, the start time of Saturday's decisive Game 5 of the ALDS between Detroit and Cleveland is moved to 1:08 p.m. Eastern, with coverage beginning 12:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio. NFL, the Cowboys will be without pass rusher Michael Parsons for a second straight game because of a high ankle sprain. Now leading tackler Eric Kendricks is out against the Lions.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Monday. NFL, college football, and of course, Major League Baseball playoffs. And I'll recap it all in my Upon Further Review at 7 a.m. Eastern. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, man!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Theriot texted me just a smidge ago. Traffic in and around the city is awful. He left the parish office at 3:07. It's usually on a light, moderate day, about 18 minutes from the Highland Road exit to Government Street. It's been almost an hour, and he's still not here. So he'll get here when he does, and we'll do the right radio hour. Actually, a good opportunity to do a bit of a reset if you're just jumping aboard with us. Brian Kelly met with reporters on Thursday, and he did disclosed that Kyle Parker is out for the season. Actually, Kelly disclosed that. This was on his radio show. Go ahead, Muse. You could play. This was Brian Kelly on his radio show.
It was tough to hear that Kyle Parker is going to be unavailable for this week's game.
Well, he's out for the year.
Out for the year, huh?
Yeah, and Kyle Parker he ruptured a tendon in his tricep, so he's out for the year.
That is really unfortunate. What was interesting is Brian Kelly was asked about the receivers in his post-practice media availability on Thursday. And he's going to list a lot of names here, but mostly what I want you to hear, and I hope you didn't edit it too much, I want you to hear how uncertain he is. Like, Brian Kelly usually, when he's in press conference, is a pretty demonstrative person, right? Like, he knows what he's trying to say and how to communicate a message. He's got a background in political strategy. Brian Kelly must have said certainly and a dozen times each when he was asked, hey, who steps up at receiver?
Xavion will be prominently looked to play a larger role for us. Aaron Anderson, certainly. And then we feel like Kamara and Pimpton and Trey'Dez Green, we have two ball catchers there that can also be in our rotation. Sheldon Sampson, obviously, is another receiver that will obviously get an opportunity to compete for us. And Jelani Watkins. So we feel like certainly...
So anyway... He probably said, and certainly a dozen times each over the course of that answer. Muse did a beautiful job of editing that to make it sound good for radio. Trust when I tell you, your boy struggled through that answer. But two things that are of significance that I think. Number one, when he was talking about who might step up, considering Kyle Parker's out for the year, Chris Hilton and C.J. Daniels are questionable for this game. You've got Lacey, Anderson, Xavion, Mason Taylor at tight end, but
Mason Taylor!
The first two names he mentioned outside of those were two tight ends, Kamorian Pimpton and Trey'Dez Green. And you got dudes that are 6'6" and 6'7", respectively, with gigantic wingspans that are great pass catchers or great targets. So, yeah, I think those two could factor in if you need them. And then on top of that, he mentioned Jelani Watkins. If you're not familiar, and you shouldn't be unless if you're an LSU football nerding out on fall camp reports, Jelani Watkins is a true freshman, and he is a absolute blow-the-top-off speedster. Very raw. One of the reasons you didn't hear his name a lot is early in camp, he had a foot or ankle injury, was in a boot for a big chunk of fall camp, so it just set him behind. But I was checking my notes. One of the first days of fall camp, there were back-to-back plays where P.J. Woodland had a pick on one snap in 11-on-11. The very next snap, Jelani Watkins dusted him on a seam route, beat him by like 7 yards. I mean, Jelani Watkins can fly. If you just need someone on the field and say, hey, go run real fast down the field, that guy can do it. So remains to be seen who's available at receiver, but there's a lot of guys who you may have to count on for reps if those veteran guys aren't out there Saturday against Ole Miss. Hit it.
He's that Louisiana boy, yeah, they call him the riot. Born and raised in the swamps, on the fight like a tiger. He going beast mode, baby, he a beast though. What you think he supposed to do? You picture better reload. Get the point.
After further review, the Riot Radio Hour with Matt Moscona and Ryan Theriot, presented by Alpha Customs. Alpha Customs, Prairieville and Lafayette, and online at alphacustoms.net.
Well, how's your week going?
Week was good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, but good. I'm full of good ideas.
Here comes Theriot. The throw. Not in time. Scudero delivers and the Giants lead 4-3 in the 10th.
The wave pool, although probably full of bacteria, flesh-eating parasites, and the occasional turd, provides endless hours of fun. It's not cool to have a 30A sticker on the back of your grocery go-getter. Big fan of the truck.
The Riot Radio Hour.
All right, Theriot in studio with us. Finally beat traffic. Solid hour to get here from Highland Road. Yeah, bro.
I mean, it was serious, man.
I know. Everybody around town, I think, is feeling that. You can tell, man, it's a giant game weekend. You have tons of people coming into town for this game, people getting off work early and going to start the weekend celebration, man. You can feel it, bro. It's a huge weekend.
It was, and I don't know if, I mean, I'm assuming that's what it was. I guess that's what it was.
Yeah, of course that's what it is.
But I mean, like, it
it started it wasn't where the traffic normally is. This was a little bit different.
There might be a wreck or something out there. Usually is. Hope everybody's okay, but ain't no doubt about it, man. It's a giant football weekend. So, how was aside from the traffic?
Yeah.
How was your week?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good week.
Yep. Busy week. Good week.
Love busy weeks.
Yep.
Love good weeks.
I
love weeks where we sell a lot of roofs too over at Parish Construction and Roofing.
Yeah, I haven't set my alarm in about, I would say a good 3 months. I'm excited for the day. It's a good productive days and weeks. And that's a good feeling. You're excited to go and grind with the Parish folk. But as you know, we got a big game this weekend.
We do.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Big one.
For a lot of reasons. I mean, people don't like Ole Miss, and I never really didn't really matter one way or the other. I mean, I'm not a fan.
They've not been great throughout their history.
No, and they always do Ole Miss things.
Like what?
They just find a way to not be good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
giving up a 4th and 25 to Arkansas.
They just, that's so Ole Miss. But anyway, so I haven't done this in a little while, but this has Ole Miss. This letter is Ole Miss themed. It's Tulane Kiffin.
Tulane. Watch out. Erica loves the Lane train. She loves how Lane and his daughter Landry do their get ready with me TikToks. Erica made me watch one of them. Yep. And that was just floored that I wasn't as moved by it as she was.
So here we go. Okay. Dear Lane Kiffin.
All right, Lane train.
You're a giant douche.
I hope he's listening. Clip it and tag him on Twitter.
The look at me, attention-seeking act makes me cringe. If it wasn't for your dad being a Hall of Fame coach, you'd be the offensive coordinator and middle school PE coach at some overpriced K-12 somewhere in middle America. You'd probably have questionable relationships with both staff members as well as recently graduated cheerleaders.
I mean, I think that happens anyway.
And you'd never miss steak night at Applebee's or sushi night at the local strippy. Sushi at the strippy. What are we doing? What's going? What happened?
Oh, man.
Lane, you couldn't get on the field at Fresno State because you sucked. And Fresno State sucked. So that means you really sucked.
Yeah.
You weren't good.
Oh.
You wanted to quit, but you didn't want to embarrass your family. Somehow you got a grad assistant job. And it was at that moment, Lane, that your masterclass of how to screw up golden opportunities began. Right then.
Masterclass.
To say you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth is an understatement.
True.
The only reason you guys were any good at USC was because y'all paid the players. Reggie Bush was the original NIL guy.
He wasn't the original.
Yeah, he wasn't the original, but he was the most
prominent.
Yeah.
Eric Dickerson. Dude got a gold Trans Am back in the 80s.
That's bad.
I mean, that's
and a gold Trans Am.
They didn't even try to hide it.
And we all know that Sarkisian and Pete Carroll did all the heavy lifting over there. You really didn't do anything. You were there just because of your name. R.I.P. to Al Davis. But Al Davis did what Al Davis did, and that's make terrible football decisions, and he gave you a shot in the NFL. That ended with a 5-15 record because, again, you're a bad football coach. Should have never gotten that opportunity. Didn't deserve it, matter of fact.
He was like 33 years old. That was aggressive.
Because you have no loyalty and are not a man of your word, you totally screwed Tennessee after 1 year to go back to USC. Of course, that ended with you being fired because you aren't a good football coach. You never have been a good football coach, actually. Somehow, you convinced Nick Saban to hire you as the OC over at Alabama for a couple years. But you got smart. Instead of waiting to get fired there, you took the job at Florida Atlantic. A job that nobody wanted because Conference USA sucks. You did okay over there. Not great, but you did okay.
Really well, I think.
Once again, though, I don't know how the guy keeps doing it, but once again, you convinced Ole Miss to give you a shot, be the head coach. It's actually a perfect fit, though. It's so Ole Miss to hire you. Like, that is Ole Miss. That's you. It's a wonderful fit. You've brought some swag to the worst state in our country. No doubt about it. Mississippi sucks. So you have done that. You brought some swag there. You seem to be on the verge of breaking through, but we all know you're just going to piss down your leg.
Like they did against Kentucky.
It's a story as old as time.
Yeah.
A story the Rebel fans know all too well. Whether it's dating girls half your age or talking trash to kids because they choose another school, you're the most classless and undeserving coach out there. You're nothing but a gimmick coach. You're a gimmick guy. You wear the shirts that say sip. You do the TikToks.
There it is right there. Look, his daughter Landry. Erica loves these.
You put your dog on social media.
A lot of people do that.
You're that politician that has dirt on everyone, and they just keep continuing to get elected. You got pictures. I don't know how. I don't know what it is. You didn't come into any of this honestly, Lane. And I can't wait to run your butt out of Tiger Stadium tomorrow night. Sincerely, Ryan.
Can I get an amen from the congregation?
Damn it. Damn it.
At least somebody's awake over there.
Damn it.
Give him 6 more minutes. He won't be awake. You know what I mean? You know what time it's going to be, right? It's after further review. We're glad you're with us. Hang around. We'll do Kick Rocks next. Stay far.
After further review.
So it's Friday.
You ain't got no job.
You got nothing to do? You know where the Tigers are going today, don't you?
Oh, yeah. They're going to
the Renaissance
Yeah.
Hotel. LSU's Friday home away from home. For every home game, LSU moves the entire operation over there to the Renaissance Hotel. So I say it all the time. If the Renaissance can host the entire LSU football program, team, coaches, support staff, everybody, they can have full team meals, breakout meeting rooms for position groups, etc. Don't you think they could have your event there at the Renaissance?
You should, yeah.
Wedding reception, fundraiser, gala, Greek dance, fraternity, sorority dances, all that exchanges, whatever they call them, that stuff. They have that there.
Mm-hmm.
Corporate meetings. They can do it all. Right there on Bluebonnet. It's the Renaissance Hotel.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
First and goal. Ridley at the 5. Ridley, touchdown! Louisiana State University.
Oh, Uncle Vern. Miss him, don't you?
I do. I actually do.
You miss Uncle Vern?
Yeah, I do.
Do you really?
Yeah, I miss him.
I mean, I really do a little bit. Not even gonna lie to you, man. You know, he was good. Old Uncle Vern. That play, that was 2010. When Stephen Ridley had the game-winning, what ended up being the game-winning touchdown run there at the end of the ball game. Ole Miss had taken a 36-35 lead, and Stephen Ridley from 7 yards out ends up scoring the game winner. I was sitting in the north end zone, so Ridley was coming right at us. That game had 5 lead changes in the fourth quarter.
That's nuts.
5, like every time someone possessed the ball in that fourth quarter, they scored, and it just kept altering the game and the lead. Tigers had a 2-point conversion there at the end, so the final margin was 43-36. But you know what else is amazing about that? LSU scored 43 points in that game, despite only throwing the ball 17 times. Jordan Jefferson was 13 of 17.
How'd that happen?
Like, it's stunning. It's a little stunning when you think about, I was talking to Shay Dixon earlier today. We had Football Fridays at the Cook over at Lod Cook with the LSU Alumni Association, and they do a great job.
That's a cool event.
Yeah, we'll have another one for the Alabama game coming up here in a few weeks. But I would highly recommend you attend if you're looking for it. It's open to anybody if you want to get a table or just buy a ticket. But Shay was talking about how, recruiting Bryce Underwood and obviously Elijah Haven. You look at all these elite quarterbacks that are so interested in LSU now. Like, their only frame of reference of LSU is as this like mecca for quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Like, all they know is like Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels, and now Nussmeier's awesome and Bryce. So like that's the only association they have with LSU is all the great quarterbacks go to LSU. If you want to develop as a quarterback and go to the pros, you go to LSU. I mean, it's like, and then a decade ago, you're playing a 43-36 game where you threw the ball 17 times. It's a little stunning how much. I mean, look, we had a decade just praying for some type of offensive evolution. I mean, just modernize a smidge, and boy, when they kicked the door in, did they ever?
Yeah, I mean, you had the dudes. You had not the quarterbacks, but you had everything else.
Skill guys.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was a golden era for skill guys.
I do wonder. Yeah, LSU's always had receivers. It was interesting, even in that era, you still had great receivers, and you got those guys to the pros. But what was, and you could run through the list of guys like Ruben Randall and Terrence Tolliver. Demetrius Byrd obviously had a car wreck, which effectively ended his football career. But beyond that, you went on and had Odell and Jarvis, and you had great players. You just didn't throw the ball very much. I would be interested, though, how some of the quarterbacks of that era would have done in a more modern offense. Like, what would Brandon Harris have done if he were in this offense? Because Brandon Harris was a top 100 prospect in the country.
And skilled.
He was a skilled dude who was a high 4-star that could sling it, man. And that's what he did at Parkway. They spread it out, and then he came here. And you put him under center, and he's dotting the I, and you're turning around, handing off the ball. It was you featured Fournette, which of course you did because he was amazing, but just different. I wonder how it could have looked, but in any event, LSU and Ole Miss, man. It has given us a lot of great memories. There's a lot of years where Ole Miss has just stunk, and it just hadn't been that. But when the game does live up to it, man, when both teams are good and the game lives up to the billing, you have some pretty historical moments. Hopefully there's another one tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah.
All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020. 924-2020, WilliamsonEye.com. You want to see 2020, call 924-2020. Go schedule that consultation with Dr. Blake Williamson, no matter your age or your refractive issue. If it's like me, maybe you're super nearsighted, LASIK could be the option. Maybe you had LASIK years ago. Other parts of your eye are aging. Maybe that's PRK. That's what Hester had recently. Had LASIK during his playing days, had PRK recently. Maybe it's time where you're getting a little older. You're reaching for those readers like Theriot is now. Custom lens replacement could be the ticket for you. Either way, no matter your age or your refractive issue, just go schedule a consultation with Dr. Blake Williamson at WilliamsonEye.com. That's WilliamsonEye.com. And if you don't schedule that consultation with Dr. Blake Williamson, you can kick rocks.
It's time to kick rocks with Ryan Theriot.
Kick rocks.
Presented by Ruckus. Kick rocks with shoes from Ruckus. Jones Creek Road in Baton Rouge, or go to ruckus103.com.
Tom Brady can kick rocks. That's a standing kick rocks, but this one's
a perpetual kick rock.
Kick rocks.
Did you prepare?
Yeah. Okay, you can kick rocks for being a middle midget.
Kick rocks.
Costing your team 4 points.
Then you can kick a whole bag of rocks for that.
Get on down the road and kick rocks.
Walking through Lowe's last night, I sent you a video.
Yeah, you did.
It is... I had to go get some things. Actually, Jonna needed to get some steaks to put in the yard to hold up...
You should have gone to Chris' Specialty Food.
To hold up the legs of the witch that was going to be buried.
Like S-T-A-K-E. Not S-T-E-A-K.
Yeah, it's a yeah, for Halloween decoration.
It's a homophone. Sounds the same, but spelled different. Steak.
Okay. And I walked in, and I heard jingle bells being played to my left.
I know that doesn't sit well with you.
They had the whole section to the left when I walked in was awesome, big Christmas stuff.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Trees, the fake trees, the lights, the toy soldiers that are life-size. They had a giant Santa, probably an 8-foot Santa. It was actually a good price. Like, I thought about getting it. It was like a couple $100. It was a huge Santa Claus.
Yeah, totally worth it to have just a giant Santa in your yard for a month. Whatever.
You got the Grinch stuff, the whole, like... Bro, we're not... It's October 11th.
I know. Yeah, it is.
We just totally skipped over Thanksgiving, and we're going straight to Christmas.
Skipped over Halloween?
This Halloween crap came out in August. You know, I mean, that was out a long time. Like, the Halloween stuff in Lowe's right now is like 50% off.
Yeah.
And we're still 20 days away from Halloween.
Yeah. I got a good idea. Go get your Halloween stuff at Clegg's Nursery. They still got it there. All your fall stuff is there.
We filled up the back of Jonna's vehicle with pumpkins.
Oh, I know you.
Gourds, all from Clegg's.
Did you get some hay bales? Squash?
She did get squash.
Got some squash and some gourds?
She did get squash,
You
gourds,
do love
and
a good
pumpkins.
gourd.
I love a good gourd.
I know you love a good gourd.
So I did that.
Boy, do I know that.
But I want Lowe's to kick rock.
Kick rock.
I do. I want Home Depot to kick rocks.
Kick rock.
Because they do it too.
Yeah.
They skip right over it. It's stupid.
Do you think that they need to kick rocks, or because they wouldn't be doing that if there wasn't a market for it?
They could take a stand though. They could put their foot in the ground and say, you know what? I'm not doing this.
You're a business owner, man. You go make money.
I think people are going to still buy it. I think they all need to come together and say, you know what? This isn't right. This isn't fair. This isn't fair to Halloween.
It's not fair to Halloween. Okay.
This isn't fair to Halloween. This is not right. There should be a day in which you can do it. You know, like I don't know, Black Friday or something you call it. Anyway.
That's when you put it out.
Okay. The traffic on the interstate can kick rocks.
Kick rock.
Yeah.
Okay, that's easy. If the Colts start Anthony Richardson this weekend.
You're awful.
They can kick rocks.
Why?
Kick rock.
Because what's his name really played well.
Yeah.
And no. And he played his butt off, and I get it. He's 50 years old. I understand that. But he played his butt off. He should continue to play. He runs the off, and I'm not a Colts fan at all. And they aren't on my, neither one of them's on my fantasy team or anything.
Nobody cares about your fantasy team anyway.
They're not.
Kick rocks and mention your fantasy team. Nobody cares about.
But Flacco deserves to continue to play. He's done a hell of a job.
Man, you invest. Let me ask you a question.
I understand I know what you're gonna say.
You invest in the 4th overall pick in a guy, you're gonna play him.
You want to win or not? That's my thing.
But you also understand that when you make that type of investment, it's a long-term investment. I may not win. Like the Colts also drafted Peyton Manning, and as a rookie, he set an NFL record for most interceptions in a season. They went 3-13. You got to go get your dude some playing time. Got to get him experience.
I'll take that.
Got to get him experience. You invested the 4th overall pick in him.
Oh, you did. Can I give a hug?
Mm-hmm.
I want to give a hug to Elon Musk.
Wish you would give a hug.
I'm giving a hug to Elon Musk.
You buying a Tesla?
For the robo-taxi, the cyber cab. Have you seen this?
Is that the autonomous driving?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy moly. He's also coming out with the X phone, which I am 1,000,000% going to have one of those.
What is that?
It's his version of this.
So instead of an iPhone, it's an X phone?
Starlink, compatible thing, which I think we're going to look up in 100 years and we're going to talk about Elon like we talk about
Steve Jobs?
Einstein.
Oh, really? Oh, I could see that.
I do think that. I think that's a thing. And I'm going to give him a hug and I'm going to appreciate him. And also, I look forward to the other crap that he hasn't brought yet that he's probably got.
Yeah.
I do think he's an alien, Elon, but that's okay because he's got a bunch of good stuff. Einstein might have been.
He's an alien?
I don't know. I do think he's an alien, or he's got some sort of extraterrestrial influence, which is fine. This is not a conspiracy theory.
I mean, he is Asperger's.
Oh, if that means you're an alien, then that's fine. I don't know.
I think it.
Yeah.
I think that explains some of the quirks.
Is that a trait for being extraterrestrial?
No.
Well, then, I do think he is. Maybe he's half extraterrestrial.
Alien?
Yeah.
Like he has one parent that's an extraterrestrial who mated with a human, so he's half. He's halvesies.
He's probably half. I don't know what he identifies. Obviously, when he fills out employment stuff,
I don't think he fills out employment.
Well, if he were to, when he does his driver's license,
he's not going to put his life signing the front of checks, not the back of checks.
He's not going to put Mars or wherever he's from.
Country of origin.
I think
he's South African.
I think his mom is an extraterrestrial.
Okay, got it.
I do. Anyway, that's what I got.
All right, it's After Further Review Kick Rocks, presented by Ruckus. We went to Ruckus last Saturday, you and me.
We made it rain over there last Saturday.
So good, too. I walked out with three per.
Mm-hmm.
I did get some Air Force Ones, my orange and black. Homage to Nelly.
Mm-hmm.
Stomping in my Air Force Ones.
Drew helped us shop. Actually, he didn't.
Yep.
He didn't help us shop at all.
Drew
he was there.
He was there. He was very patient.
He was very patient. I was proud of Drew.
He sat there on the little bench. He kept saying, "Hi, Wyan.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Wyan."
And he had a friend there too, Jet.
Yep, Jet was there. Shout out to Jet.
We had a nice Ruckus trip. I walked out of there with 6 pairs of shoes. That was ridiculous.
6, huh?
Yes.
Most for me ever in one trip was 5.
The Travis Scott joints that I got are. Oof.
I'm a little surprised by those, because, as I told you, because the swoosh is backwards.
It is.
And that's a no-no with Nike. The swoosh must, because this was a big deal with when Nike got the NFL uniform contract, and they have the swoosh on the sleeve, and so the swoosh is always facing forward, and so people are like, wow, you need to flip it around. Well, it's weird because in one of your pair of shoes it is backwards.
I know.
I know. I don't think I've ever seen that.
I got a couple pairs of Vans, sick, and got John a pair of Air Maxes, camo and pink.
Wow.
Air Maxes.
Look at that.
And
such a nice guy.
Y'all go to Ruckus, man. I mean, that place is awesome.
Ruckus103.com. All right, well, I got a quick break. Stay here. It's AFR.
After Further Review.
Man, I love telling you about Action Industries. 1982, 42 years in business right here in Greater Baton Rouge. an industrial contractor, which they know who they are, which is one of the things I love about them. I mean, there are some gigantic industrial contractors, right? The $200 million job industrial contractors. That's not Action Industries. You got that 100-person job, that's their sweet spot. You know, you hire one of those giant industrial contractors for that 100-person job, maybe you don't feel like you're a priority. At Action Industries, you're their number one priority. You get all their best people. And by the way, they are hiring. It's turnaround season. They got those 2 turnarounds coming up that I've been telling you about. It's a 4 to 5 week turnaround. Looking for 100, 120 people. Like we talked about, that's their sweet spot. If you're interested, welders, pipe fitters, crane operators, boiler makers, apply online or in person. Website actionindinc.com, Action Industries Incorporated, or in Geismar at their Highway 30 office. Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Join us at Pro Dreams in Mandeville for our special event, A Day of Champions. Meet LSU National Championship winning head coaches Jay Johnson, Skip Burtman, and Paul Maneri. Don't miss your chance to purchase authentic sports memorabilia, autographed by the champions themselves. It's the perfect opportunity to celebrate LSU baseball and take home a piece of history. Visit pro-dreams.com to get your tickets. See you there.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
What's up? Fresh is our turn, baby.
Number 7, Leonard Fournette. Right side, there's that gaping hole again. Could it be? Will he strike for the trifecta? He does! 78 more yards for Leonard Fournette.
16 carries, 284 yards, 3 touchdowns, a long of 78, a record-setting day for Leonard Fournette, the 284 on the ground. He was sensational to watch, man. It's a shame that 2016 season had him banged up, because 2015 was something to behold, but he left us with that memory, obviously, in 2016 against Ole Miss in Tiger Stadium. 3 touchdowns, a then record 284 yards on the ground, which has now since been broken by Ty Davis Price, who went over 300 yards in 2021 in that game, that 11 a.m. game against Florida, which was a sight to behold in and of itself. But Leonard Fournette won an all-time great day. And we'll see which running back at LSU might be able to make an impact coming up on Saturday night in Tiger Stadium. So many people excited about Caden Durham, the young guy, but a 6-year senior, and Josh Williams has been around for a bit now. Our buddy Michael Anderson is in studio with us now because he got to do a collab with Josh Williams. So it'll be a little special something he'll be rocking in Tiger Stadium on Saturday night. How are you, dude?
Doing great, Matt.
Man, it's good to have you in. We always appreciate it. So spill the beans. What's going on?
Yeah, we did the cleat delivery with Josh Williams today. And actually, shout out to you because the NIL sponsor for that project was the Williamson Eye Clinic. So Dr. Blake Williamson. And he found out about doing all this because he was listening to your show.
I love it, man. I think that was when were we doing one of the baseball collab? We were talking about whenever he messaged.
I think we were talking about the John Deere collab.
Oh yeah, with John. Yep, with Sunshine.
But, I mean, you had texted me about it before I even got to my car in the parking lot. So that was pretty cool.
Well, one of the things I like is, and for those who don't know, Michael's a Baton Rouge guy. Calico, shout out. Has done so much amazing stuff as an artist, but part of it is custom shoes. Actually, the AFR sneakers that are here on set. Our friends over at Sunshine John Deere commissioned Michael to do those for us here on the show. It was a Father's Day gift. There's a little homage from Drew on the inside, which is awesome, and I love that. That's a prized possession. But one of the things I really like is that what you're doing with these businesses also is, I think, how NIL was intended to be done. I mean, it's a collab where the player gets a really cool pair of shoes, cleats, whatever it is. The business is involved, and it's benefiting everybody. I mean, that's what NIL was supposed to be whenever all this stuff was caked up. So talk to me a little bit about the whole collab with Josh Williams.
Yeah, Josh has been a guy that I've wanted to work with, and what an incredible story that he's had. So he's from Houston, Texas. He had offers to get a scholarship other places, and then came to LSU as a preferred walk-on. Not only did he earn a scholarship spot, but then also became the starting running back, and then got selected to wear number 18, which is obviously a huge honor.
Yeah, man.
And he's somebody that just I want to associate my brand with, both on and off the field. So we did a very special edition custom cleats to honor number 18, the tradition behind that.
So when are these? Like, you sent me the video. When is this video dropping?
Yeah, hopefully this week. We shot it today, so we still got some editing to do.
Okay.
But it was really awesome because I've been doing this for about 6.5 years. For a long time, it was nights and weekends. Now it is my full-time gig. And this pair of cleats specifically shows kind of the evolution of what I've been doing because there's no paint on them. So those are 100% full custom cut and sew.
Okay.
So I cut out.
So what's the purple?
That? You do all that?
Yeah, I did all that. Oh, wow. Yeah. So I did a base layer of white leather, and then I cut out the purple tiger stripes and glued and sewed everything on there.
What's the purple? What's the material of the purple tiger stripes?
Just purple leather.
Okay, just leather. Okay, and then the gold. The gold swoosh. Is that a football that you painted gold?
No, it's also just leather that I got.
Okay, I mean, so Josh is going to wear these for the game tomorrow?
Yep.
Bro, these are so nasty. I mean, I'm a cleat guy too. Like, these are.
No, I mean, I appreciate it. It really is amazing. It's a testament to like the 10,000 hours thing, right? Mm-hmm. And you led off this segment with Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette was actually the first athlete I ever did a project with.
Oh, really?
So that was in 2016. I did a painting for Leonard and his daughter, Lyric. And he actually, that was, back when social media first started like popping off, and he had put it as his Twitter like profile photo, whatever. And
yeah, I remember that.
I thought I was the man. And like looking back at it now, it wasn't all that good. But no, I really have come a long way, and I've put in a lot of hours, and it's really cool to see the production value. Like, shout out to my guy Josiah, who's been doing all my videos and stuff. We've done several million views together. So
yeah, it's crazy.
The quality of the work and the production value and everything has just gone up so much because I've just I've been working, learning.
Check out his Instagram. It's get.like.mike on Instagram. Get.like.mike. You can check out the Instagram. And also, you do have a post up. This is the well, you could walk through it, but there's Tank, Jacoby, and Guillory. And if you're watching, there's Michael and there's Tank, who's getting a harness on him. So walk us through this one.
Yeah, shout out to Grace Vest and Sunshine John Deere. They've been really good to me, and that was one of the first meetings that I had was with Grace whenever I had the idea to do these NIL deals. And Jacobian's awesome. We actually have a billboard up. I haven't seen it yet. It's one of the digital billboards that they put up on the project. I'll have to. I have the address. I'll have to swing by.
Yeah.
But that was awesome. That was actually a lot of Grace's idea. They've done like the gator hunt and done stuff like that. So she sent me a John Deere tractor seat, and I cut it all up, and then I stitched it onto the cleats, made a pair of dunks.
Okay.
And then we harnessed Jacobian in, and he pulled a tractor, and the video covers everything, start to finish. Me getting the tractor seat, cutting it up, making the cleats, going out to the farm on River Road, Jacobian putting them on, pulling the tractor. And yeah, like you said earlier, I think that's exactly what NIL is supposed to be.
Man, if you go look at Michael's Instagram, Jaden Daniels, Dylan Cruz, Livy Dunn, I mean, the biggest names have done collabs with him, and it's a great NIL partnership as well. So for businesses who might be interested, get.like.mike on Instagram. Really cool stuff. Josh Pearson, I remember we talked about that one last year as well. Haley Van Lith. So good stuff. Go check out the Instagram as well. So, and make sure LSU-Ole Miss Saturday night when you're watching Josh Williams, keep a close eye on his cleats because those are the custom cleats. You ever watch a player wear your custom cleats in a game, Paul Skeens, and go I don't want to get them dirty? Do you ever think about that at all?
Yeah, stop.
Well, and that's what the cool thing is about the cut and sew is not the paint stuff as much, but they'll last forever, so they can wear them a bunch of different games. But yeah, that certainly never gets old. And I've been so fortunate to work with a bunch of awesome athletes here at LSU who've just been so good to me. And my biggest thing right now is we have a direct impact on how good LSU is at football as a community because of NIL. We didn't have that before. Before you could just go scream real loud at the games, and I'll be there doing that.
Yeah.
But then also getting more companies involved and bringing more people to the table is just gonna be better for LSU. And then also, I do want to go to LSU and get the official collab with the athletic department. So,
y'all listening? I mean, look, what we got to do to get that done?
Yeah, working on it.
Whose decision is that?
Oh, there's a lot of red tape and a lot of stuff that goes into it.
I can imagine. Anyway, the work is awesome. Congrats on the collab with Josh Williams, and the Jacobian collab is up, and that's awesome too. I mean, obviously we're a partner with Sunshine, John Deere, and then obviously with the Williamson Eye Center as well. So big shout out to all of them, and you're doing great work and helping the Tigers in the NIL space. Another one, man. So what's next in the shoot?
So I'm actually I've been working on this for about 2.5 years, but I have a clothing line coming out in the next 3 weeks. I've been saying that for a long time.
Yeah, you have. No doubt.
Yeah,
for as long as you've been coming in here, you've been telling me about your clothing line, and the website's coming. And
we're finally there, and I'm really excited about that. I have 6 LSU athletes doing a photo shoot for that.
Nice.
And I've had so many people reach out and want to support what I'm doing, but unless you're big time like Moscona, you don't get a pair of custom shoes.
I don't know about that, dog.
So this is just cool, man, to have something for everybody, and something I'm really excited about. And this was always, the goal and the path that I saw for myself as a way to scale my business is with the clothing stuff. So next time I come in the studio, I'll have some of that for you.
All right. I'll believe it when I see it, but I'm very hopeful, and I'm excited for it when it's there. Michael Anderson, thanks for coming in, man. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Y'all keep an eye out for Josh Williams tomorrow in those custom cleats. That'd be awesome. All right, well, now I got a break. Come back. Hour number 2. We'll wrap up with Ask Ryan. Get your questions in for Theriot. Email us, tweet us, or text us. Ask Ryan is next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001. Y'all, this week we've been waking up. Temps have been in the upper 50s, lower 60s. It has been beautiful. But it's also a reminder that fall is here. Winter is right around the bend. You're going to be cranking on those heaters. Maybe some of you already have. If you hear funny noises, maybe smells, remember, your heater lay dormant for months. Before you crank that thing up, make sure you call River City's 1 Hour Air. It's so easy. They'll come out. It's the preseason heater safety check. They'll make sure it's clean, it's tuned up, to make sure it's not hazardous. It'll run safely and efficiently throughout the cold weather months. Yes, efficiency matters. It'll extend the life of your unit, but safety most importantly. Mention the Moscona special. They'll knock $30 off that preseason heater safety check at River City's 1 Hour Air.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you.
For the review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
We roll tight whips every day. Bentleys, Lex, Mercedes, and Escalades. We roll tight whips every day. Come on. Hustling to make a paper, but that's
Great eye formation, nobody flanked out, but Jennings does look to throw, and he's got him for a touchdown! That was Logan Stokes! And LSU fooled everybody on that one.
How about it? Logan Stokes back in 2014, the first and only catch of his LSU career, the game-winning touchdown. LSU upsets number 3 Ole Miss in Tiger Stadium back in 2014. Brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. Check them out. Airline just north of Highland. If you're in the market for a new vehicle, might be shopping for a new vehicle, make sure you put Volkswagen on your list. If you're looking for the Atlas, that's the 3-row, 7-seater family SUV. Maybe you got that growing family with the kiddos. You want something that's stylish but affordable and safe. The Atlas is your choice. Erica drives an Atlas. I had an Atlas. When I traded in that vehicle, I got a Cross Sport. The Cross Sport takes out the 3rd row, little shorter, little sleeker, so just a little smaller than the Atlas, but still all the style, feel, performance, and luxury. Whatever you're shopping for, whatever body style, they got it at South Point Volkswagen. Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer and certified pre-owned as well. South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction?
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
This is SportsCenter.
A spot in the LCS is on the line. I'm Chris Smith. The Dodgers host the Padres in Game 5 of the NLDS in 90 minutes on ESPN Radio. LA's outfielder Mookie Betts homered in consecutive games for the first time in his playoff career, but he said the team is just focused on the task at hand.
I think we just take it one game at a time, one inning at a time. We have a bunch of grinders, a bunch of fighters, and we know this wasn't going to be easy. You know, nothing's easy, and so you just got to take whatever cards you're dealt and play them, and that's what we've been doing.
Manager Dave Roberts is 5-2 in winner-take-all games, just 1 win shy of tying Bruce Bochy for the most all-time. And due to weather issues, the start time for Saturday's Game 5 of the ALDS between Detroit and Cleveland has been moved to 1:08 p.m. Eastern, with coverage beginning 12:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio. And Tiger slugger Kerry Carpenter was undergoing treatment on Friday and resting a hamstring injury that could keep him out of that crucial game. If Carpenter is replaced on the roster, he would be ineligible if the team advances to play the Yankees in the ALCS. NFL Colts QB Anthony Richardson on track to play against the Titans, but Jonathan Taylor is out.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Commercial Insurance. It flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's rock! You can't handle the
Riot Radio Hour.
Let's do that again.
Guess who's back? Back again. I want some more.
The Riot Radio Hour.
Well, let's start the insanity. Giddy up.
With Matt Moscona and Ryan Theriot.
Let me find out you wearing Spanx that hide your gut.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal. They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name. Yes, sir. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. It is 5 o'clock, quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Matt, Theriot, Mintzy joining us in studio as well. The only Ole Miss fan that I actually like. How are you, Mintzy?
I appreciate that, Matt. I'm doing really well.
It's actually not true.
Yeah,
I have a lot of Ole Miss fans.
I feel like my whole life has revolved around Ole Miss LSU weekend, going back to my senior year of high school. It's the 22nd time in 25 years I've made it. Wow. This is conveniently skipped 2011 when LSU kneeled on with 4 or 5 minutes left. I was like, there's no chance. I was broke in 2016, and I was at a cancer fundraiser for my buddy in 18, and I've made every other one. This is probably the best team Ole Miss has ever brought to Baton Rouge. Still nervous as hell. I just know what LSU's celebrating the 100-year anniversary of Death Valley. That's not nothing. Saturday night, going to be an awesome atmosphere, and excited for tomorrow, to say the least.
Look at this game a lot, Mincy, and I think Ole Miss is a better team than LSU. I don't think anybody would actually argue that. I think if you go 1 to 85 on the roster, objectively, I think Ole Miss is the better team. But the situation so heavily favors LSU. Saturday night, coming off a bye, Ole Miss 7 straight weeks. We've talked about back-to-back road conference games, all that stuff. Lane hasn't beaten a ranked opponent on the road since he's been at Ole Miss. Brian Kelly's been amazing in his career. He's 15-2. At home, coming off the bye in his coaching career, 12-5 against the spread off the bye in home games. He's just like the situation just dramatically favors LSU. So it's which gives, right? I think what it lends us to is the spread's 3.5, whatever it is. I mean, I might as well just be a pick 'em. I think it's a coin flip. It's like a final possession type game.
That's what I think too. Some interesting stuff with this game. So Ole Miss played 6 games, played 4 preseason games.
Yeah,
basically. Then played Brent Vandergriff and played Sellers in South Carolina. I hadn't seen a passing game like this at all.
Yeah.
And so I know Ole Miss's front seven's loaded, though. I mean, they're allowing 1.6 yards to carry. Ole Miss spent the money on the defensive line. You see what Walter Nolan's doing. He takes 2 blockers, Pegues, Ivy, Pupal from Arkansas, Perkins off the edge. You're loaded up front. If there's a question, it's the DBs. Trey Amos for Bama's good. They've a lot of holding, a lot of PIs. LSU's deep at receiver. So that's what I'm a little worried about. I'm curious to see if LSU might just throw like 80 or 90% of this game.
I mean, that's what LSU did early in the season. When teams were showing LSU stacked boxes, it was funny, Mitzi, because we've had these conversations here forever about during the whole Miles era about LSU running stubbornly into 7, 8, 9-man fronts. And now Brian Kelly's telling you, we're not just going to stubbornly run into those fronts. People are like, why can't you run the ball? Well, I mean, isn't a pass in the flat to Caden Durham an extension of your running game, essentially like a toss, and he goes 75 yards? I mean, it's what. So yeah, I mean, I think LSU will is we've seen them do it. They need to throw it 65, 70% of their offensive snaps. I mean, I think they will. I don't know. We'll see how effective they can be, but they've been really effective so far.
You see the talk about being effective running the football, especially early in the season, and intentionally making a point to hand the ball off and get one of the running backs going. And now it seems like they're like exactly what you just said. No. You've seen a change in personnel back there as well, where you're able to get a guy out in the flats that can hit a home run on one of those little swing passes. Yep. Gone are the days, where you do that. But also, Brian Kelly's showing that he's going to coach to his personnel. You have the big bruiser back that could do that. But like you just said, Mintz, I mean, you've got mega dudes on the other side of that football. Why run into the wall? The question I have is LSU at the wide receiver position, and who's going to step up in the absence of a couple guys that have the ability to play on Sunday. I know LSU's deep, but there's going to be some interesting guys out there.
Yeah, no, on the other side of the ball, I think Jackson Dart's going to run in this game. He hadn't really run much this year. Last year he had 7 carries for 50 yards. Ole Miss has a bye next week. You're looking at a game here at 5-1. If Ole Miss wins at LSU, it erases the Kentucky loss. You're 6-1. everything in front of you.
Yeah.
A loss here, it's like what happened last year at LSU when they got their second loss in Oxford. It's a loss here. There's no margin for error, and you got to get help. I mean, the season's all but.
Well, for the one for Ole Miss is you still got to play Georgia. And so if you lose this game, knowing you got Georgia, and I still think Georgia's the best team in the conference. I think Georgia and Texas are right there. I know what happened at Bama, but Georgia threw up on themselves in the first half. I mean, it was an uncharacteristic game for Carson Beck. It happened, but I mean, threw it to the other team 4 times and it lost a fumble. It happens. Why you lost the game? Go play clean and look at what happened in the second half. I mean, Georgia you just ran over them. So I still think Georgia. I think Georgia will beat Ole Miss, but if Ole Miss gets this, and even if you lose to Georgia, you're still a playoff team. Which I think that's how you have to think about it. And for LSU's perspective, if you go to the halfway point of your season at 5-1, you still have a game to play with in the second half. It's not going to be easy because you got back-to-back road conference games coming. You still got Bama ahead and a lot of there's landmines everywhere in an SEC schedule. But yeah, I mean, this for all the reasons people have said it, this feels like a de facto elimination game for the playoff.
It does. This is the first time. Look, I've obviously all these Ole Miss LSU games through the years. This is the first time Ole Miss has had this big of an advantage in defensive line versus LSU. Because usually in this game, LSU's got the dudes on the D line, and Ole Miss is a little lighter there. And Ole Miss really spent the money this offseason at that spot. LSU didn't. And I wonder if, we'll see if that pays off.
So here's my thing, though. Whenever I've talked about that matchup in particular, that's a good-on-good matchup. Right? That's LSU's offensive line, Ole Miss's defensive line. And I have total respect for Ole Miss's defensive front. Listen, before, I picked we're in Hoover, and we're in Dallas at Media Days. And we did our projected order finish. I went Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss. Picked Ole Miss third. And I think they're legit. I think they're well coached, and they went and you got a lot of guys back with Dart and Harris and a lot of those guys. Even losing Judkins, Parrish has been really good, and then all the guys that got defense. So I think Ole Miss is a playoff team. I do. I look at the Ole Miss defensive front, LSU offensive line as a good-on-good matchup, but we've talked about this so much. Every time LSU gets into one of these good-on-good matchups, the offensive line still holds up. Yeah. And it's almost like, okay, I'm not saying Ole Miss won't get home and pressure Nussmeier and sack him and have TFLs and all that, but if you do, it's like hat tip, man, you earned it. Because and even when we focus so much on the tackles, Garrett Dellinger and Miles Frazier are 4-year starters as well. They're just really good. So it's not like it's been 5 games that I've seen them be real good. It's 3 years that I've seen them be really good. So that's kind of where I go, man. I think LSU's going to be okay there. I don't know if they're going to pave the way and run for 150. I don't think that's going to happen at all. But I think they're going to keep Nussmeier clean and allow him to throw the ball.
Yeah, on the other side of it, Ole Miss is going to go up tempo. You know that. Can LSU off the bye? You've had some coverage busts this year. You've seen some runs get broken. You got to limit the big plays for LSU. I think Parrish has done a really good job for Ole Miss. Yeah. He's a little banged up. A lot of talk on the Ole Miss side of it. Ulysses Bentley's gotten
Yeah, where's he gone?
There's a free Bentley movement in Oxford. So Matt Jones is out this game. Yeah. So Bentley may be the backup. This could be finally the game he gets to play. But he was so good last year. Nobody knows what's happened. He's in the doghouse, I guess.
But even with Bentley not carrying the ball, he's still returning kicks and punts.
A little bit. He's really hadn't got to play too much. We got a Utah State transfer as a good punt returner. But I don't know. It's just been really weird, but I think he may finally have an opportunity in this game.
Yeah, man. It'll be interesting as always. I've waffled on this game all week. We'll do our pick'em here in a sec. Well, I guess what we'll do is to stay on time. We'll break. We'll come back. We'll do our pick'em segment. Mincy will be our guest picker. How did Mincy do last year? Do you have it last year? We can look. Paul will look it up. We'll see how Mincy was.
Not well in college baseball, Matt.
Well, I know, bro.
He had 77% for the season.
That was bonkers. We did our Friday college baseball pick'em, and I went ham. But I've never. That's true. Just dumb luck. That is just the definition of having surface level knowledge of college baseball around the country, and just. I think I was just whatever's the highest
You did. That's
total.
That's what
I just took the under every week. That total's 17.5. I'll take an under on Friday night. That's just what I did. Anyway, all right, let's knock out a break. It's a Friday edition of AFR. We're brought to you by Parrish Construction and Roofing and Parrish Restoration. Do business with someone you know. That's me. That's Theriot. Richard Tilley. Joe Morales. Look at you with the shirt.
You like
I
the
love
shirt?
it. Trent Davis. I do. We've got our hats all over here as well. One of the things we had our marketing meeting yesterday, we were talking a good bit about is our commercial division. And you were saying it, I think, best. The spot where we've probably invested at Parrish most is in our people, to make sure that we have the best people in each of these divisions. That's true with our commercial division as well.
No doubt about it. I mean, look, there's everybody needs a roof. Everybody has a roof. It's something that the opportunity is out there, but to go and get the best in that industry, whether it be flat roofs, metal roofs, you name it, we feel like we got the absolute best in Matt Pearson, who's heading that division for us, an absolute stud. The dude loves roofs, which is kind of weird, but whatever, it is what it is.
You send them the group text Saturday mornings at like 7 a.m. on roofs.
Yeah.
It's like, what are y'all doing, sleeping?
Yeah, we love this. Like
Saturday morning at 7 a.m.
Clean it up. But no, from the commercial side, we're really excited about that. We've invested in some wonderful human beings and are pushing that super hard. If you're a contractor or a business owner and building owner, we'd love a shot at your work.
There was a story in the news here in the last 24 hours for those that saw it. It was a very unsightly story about a roofing contractor. You can Google it and look it up. But the point that we always say is do business with someone you know. Make sure you trust a local licensed contractor, most importantly. I mean, even if it's not Parrish Construction and Roofing, make sure it is a local licensed contractor that you know is going to do right by you.
And check their track record.
Yeah, we'd love to help. Do business with someone you know. Parrish Construction and Roofing, parrishbuilt.com. Okay, we'll come back. We'll do our pick'em. By the way, your boy gained on you a little bit. How about that? A little bit of an aggressive play last week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I went swinging from my heels, and you left one fat over the middle of the plate. Yep. I hit it about 475.
Had a good week.
Mm-hmm.
Happens.
See what we do for an encore. It's AFR.
AFR.
Glow Resources, they are complete employer solutions. GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com. Hey, if your business is hiring and having trouble hiring, having trouble finding the right people, you need Glow Resources. They're online at glowresources.com, GLO, glowresources.com. And Glow Resources, while their corporate headquarters right here in Baton Rouge, they've got offices all over Miami and Dallas, New Orleans, everywhere. And they help place people in jobs not only in Louisiana, but all over the country and all over the world. They have a 93% success rate. More than 9 out of 10 people that they place in a job stick. And the reason is because over the course of a year, they interview 15,000 some odd people. They're experts at knowing the questions to ask to make sure they're vetting properly the exact specifications you need for that job. If it's skilled blue-collar labor or their professional placement division for any office job, you need Glow Resources. GLO, glowresources.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined we...
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Two backs in the ball game right now. Brandon Jacobs and Rick Rosano, both behind Eli Manning.
4th and 10. And the pressure is coming. Manning tripped.
He got stepped on by his own guy.
It's all over.
I remember walking out of Vaughn Hemingway back to our tailgate that day in November of 2003, and about every 10 steps I would just fall down, barrel roll. Ole Miss people didn't think that was very fun. God, that was such a great memory.
So I was living in the ATO house when I was at Ole Miss at that point, and I didn't leave my room in the ATO house till the next Thursday after that game. I've never taken a loss harder. It was the one year Ole Miss could finally get to Atlanta. It was Eli's senior year. I mean, you just right when I heard that call, I just almost slammed my headset down. We're 21 years later, by the way. This is, and I'm still grieving.
That was from the LSU perspective. It was amazing because that was the game where you knew that LSU defense there was just nobody that was going to score on that defense. And it was a different era of college football, obviously, but as odd as this sounds, they played Louisiana. We talked about this, I think, last week or something, but LSU played Louisiana Tech a few weeks prior to that. And that was one of those spread them out, throw it around, big high-powered Louisiana Tech offenses. Who did we say was the core? Oh, it was McCown.
Yeah, it was Luke McCown.
It was McCown. And LSU just put him in a chokehold. And at that point, I knew they were going to do the same thing to Eli and Ole Miss. It doesn't mean you were going to win the game on the road, but that it wasn't going to be a game where Ole Miss did what they were going to do offensively. And remember, if you remember the game, you remember it. But in the first, I don't know if it was the first play, but it was the first possession. Was Matt Malk threw a pick six, and Ole Miss just like that got up. Jeffrey Henderson had a deep touchdown catch in that game. Jonathan Nichols, obviously.
Missed two, and was Lou Groza a winner that year too.
He was a great kicker, very uncharacteristically missed a couple of kicks in that game, and Tigers made the plays, and it came down to that 4th down, and Eli Manning just got stepped on. Found that as the most anticlimactic thing you could possibly imagine for what was a great game with so much on the line. But Mintzy, that's pretty fitting of Ole Miss, man. Just everything on the line, just fall down.
That's what Ole Miss does, man.
Fall down.
Ole Miss is a good underdog, struggles with dealing with success sometimes. That's kind of historically.
All right, Mintzy's with us. Let's do our pickup segment. Hit it, Muse. Yes, the Big Ten on CBS theme. You know what I would like to do? I actually move that we retire this for the Pick'em, and I want to bring back the ESPN college football theme because they have brought back you remember the old school ESPN college football theme, the old Ron Franklin, Mike Godfrey days. Do you remember that theme? They've started using it again now that they've got the SEC on ABC, and I love it. It reminds me of watching Ron Franklin and Mike Godfrey and Adrian Karsten and some of those great games from the 90s. I think I want to bring that back. I mean, let the Big Ten have this. Let them have it.
They can have it.
It's theirs.
I don't love it, but
I don't care.
We can do that.
It's the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl theme now.
It's the greatest college football theme of all time.
It was.
Still is.
Nah.
Yeah.
I can do without it. I love the ESPN theme that they've gone back to. Next week, we're going to it. So it's happened. Big Ten can have this. All right, let's go. 10 games. Paulie, let's see the standings. Theriot had a commanding lead last week. Mr. The Riot goes 4-6. Scone 8-2. So I made up 4 games on you. It's within reach now. Theriot's at 35-20. I'm at 31-24. Paulie, do you remember what games did we go opposite on? Wait, turn the mic on.
You got him on A&M, Nebraska, Washington, and Florida.
Woo!
I picked with my heart.
No, you didn't.
I did.
It's actually the opposite.
No, I did.
Because what's happened in this pick'em forever is I've gotten a lead on you, and then you've just had to go opposite me. And then last week, I kind of had to do that because I was down 8 games. I was like, I got to start making some hay here. So, but I did actually like all those picks that I made. Anyway, all right, let's go. 10 games. No spread, just straight up.
Do we know Mincy's record last year?
Do you have? Oh wait, Paul's got it. All right, of course Paul's got it.
Last year,
all right,
Mincy wins 7-3 as the guest picker.
All right, Mincy, was that the high? No, Russ was the high water mark.
Yeah, Russ won. But
Russ went 9-1. Russ Mitchell went 9-1. The only game he missed was A&M, and it was a layup. It was A&M against Vandy or something like. But he's like, I'm just not picking A&M.
Yep.
So that's the only reason he didn't get 10.
He got 10-0.
All right, got one tonight. In the Big 12, it's Utah at Arizona State. Mincy, you do the honors.
I'm going to go Utah here. I know it's a road favorite, sketchy spot, but I think Utah gets it done. They're tough line scrimmage.
Cam Rising's back in the building. He's not.
He's not.
Are we
He'll
sure
never
about
play.
Are we
I feel
sure
like
about that?
they lie about him every week.
Yeah,
every week he's supposed to play.
I thought I saw that he was playing.
No, this is a thing they've done. He's right, like literally every week. He's questionable. He dresses, but he doesn't like. Everyone's just done. Like he's just not.
Why are they doing that?
That's a great question. I would almost feel like if you are the kid that's starting, that's almost like a mental game. Like, why do I have to?
That's not a good feeling for that kid, whoever it is. I don't even know who the guy is.
Wilson's his name.
Yeah, Wilson.
Wilson!
Give me Utah.
All right, I'll take the Utes. I'll take the 2 Utes as well. Washington at Iowa. Mincy.
All right, got a quick stat for you. These cross-country Big Ten games so far, the team having to travel cross-country 1-8 against the spread. This new travel.
Did you listen to Phil Steele on AFR about 2 hours ago?
I didn't. But he probably knows more than I do. Give me Iowa.
Mr. The Riot.
I think I lost with Washington last week. Give me Iowa as well. I'm off those guys.
For the same reason that Mincy said, cross-country travel, going multiple time zones. Is in the Big Ten this year, the only win was Indiana going to UCLA. That's the only win for a team in the Big Ten traveling multiple time zones. I don't love Iowa this year, but I agree with Mincy. Iowa actually has some semblance of an offense. Huge letdown spot for Washington and having to travel 2 time zones to the middle America. Yeah. Give me Iowa in this game. Red River rivalry, Texas OU.
Man, it's one of those where, everybody's going to take Texas. The question is, do they cover the 14.5? But they're going to win the game.
All right. Mr. The Riot?
I need Texas as well.
Okay, clean sweep for Texas. What do you think? Do you have a feeling, ATS?
Texas is better in every way, but I hate laying 2 touchdowns in a rivalry game. That's one of those things. I don't know. Little conspiracy theory. Everybody's saying Texas is like number 1. I need to see more. Michigan couldn't throw. I need to see more before I anoint them.
Penn State at Southern Cal.
Ooh.
Love USC on the same thing. USC also, after losing as a road favorite, bounce back spot. Penn State's number 4, which is wild. I got a lot of questions about their offense. I think USC. Lincoln Riley needs this one bad, too.
I'm going to go with the Nittany Lions here. Give me Penn State.
Going Penn State? Yeah. All right, Terry, we'll be head-to-head on this. I am taking USC. Like Mincy and I I'm a believer in that, man. Penn State now has to go from Happy Valley to Los Angeles, and it's a huge bounce-back spot for USC after being embarrassed at Minnesota. I think this is a get-right spot for USC, and I do think they win that game straight up against Penn State out there in the Coliseum. Here you go, Mincy. Cal at Pitt.
Yeah, so I was talking about this one off the air. This is my favorite game of the whole week. Cal gets gutted with College game day at like 1 a.m., blows a 35-10 lead, 11 a.m. start against Eli Holstein. St. Thomas More. Dude, he is chunking it.
And Zachary.
Yeah. he's chunking it, and man, I think they're going to roll. I think Pitt by 2 or 3 touchdowns here. I think they spank them.
Give me Pitt too.
All right, we're all going Pitt. That's another one. Cal is going from Berkeley to it's just I saw this week too. Was it Cal or was it Pitt? One of them has like enlisted a NASA scientist or something to help them with the travel, like the cross country.
Oh, it's gotta be Cal, a bunch of weirdos.
Probably so.
For sure.
Arizona at BYU, undefeated BYU, still in line for a potential playoff spot.
This is the weirdest line. BYU's
3.
covered every week by so many points, and it went from 5 down to 3. I don't understand why, but I'm taking BYU again. I've been calling fraud on Arizona all year. I know they won at Utah, but lost at home to Texas Tech, got blown out at Kansas State. They lost a really good coach. I don't think they're very good.
Still got Noah Fafita, who's a great college football player. You got that dude under center, you always got a shot.
Yeah, give me BYU. They got those old guys that've been on missions and stuff. That's a thing. So, yeah.
This is a 3 o'clock game on Fox. It's very hard to win in pro, though. It's weird. It's elevation. It's all that stuff. It's the old guys, like Terrio said. I agree. I'm going to take BYU to get to 6-0.
How about BYU with the stud Jewish quarterback?
How does that work?
I never would have thought that had happened.
It's awesome. I love that.
Are you allowed to do that?
Yeah, you can. I mean, there's some
as long
classes.
as you don't have sex pregame.
Yeah, no sex, no coffee, right? What are the other rules?
Yeah,
no dancing.
No caffeine. Yeah, no dancing.
I
Can't
don't
do any
know.
of that.
Is that a thing? I made
Florida
that one up.
and Tennessee. Gators got a little something in them.
I think they fight. I think Tennessee will win, but with spread-wise, I'm taking Florida in the 15. But in this pick, I'm taking Tennessee to win. But I think it'll be close. Florida, dude, Tennessee always struggles against Florida. It's really bad. It's one of those matchups that's bad for them.
They normally do, but Tennessee's got a guy.
Nico?
Yeah, give me Tennessee. By a lot.
Tennessee just lost at Arkansas. I just think the larger the sample size grows, you realize the very clear delineation, which is Tennessee is very good at home. They are not very good on the road. This game's at home. I think Tennessee wins and wins easily. All right, 3 more. Ohio State at Oregon.
I'm going Oregon home dog. I've been back and forth on this all week. So when in doubt, give me the home dog. I think Oregon's got a really good defensive line. And I think Dylan Gabriel can make enough plays to win this game. Ohio State's been starting slow in a lot of games, by the way.
Terrio?
Oh, man. Mincy just kind of talked me into it. Can you go first?
I am going Oregon. Yeah, same thing. Home dog. Again, this is another thing where the cross time zone travel. Autzen Stadium at night. Yeah, I'll take a swing with the home dog. I mean, I get it. Ohio State, I think, is the most talented team in the country. But yeah, I'll take a home dog in this spot.
Give me Ohio State.
All right, we'll go head-to-head on that one. 2 more. Iowa State, West Virginia.
This is a weird one. West Virginia blew out a terrible Oklahoma State team. It might be the most disappointing team. I think Iowa State's good. I hate taking road favorites, but I think Matt Campbell's got a squad, and I think West Virginia's soft up front against the run and Iowa State's physicality.
Where is it?
It's in Morgantown, West Virginia.
That place gets crazy, doesn't it? You been to games there?
I never have. I'd like to see some couches burning one day, though.
Yeah. I want to do those guys.
All right, West Virginia.
Yeah.
I'm with Mincy. I'll take Iowa State. Then Ole Miss LSU.
I mean, give me the Rebs. I think I don't feel the most confident. We got to win this damn thing, man. 16 years. If it's going to happen, it's this year after we spent all the money on the Grove Collective and everything's on the line. But I'm a little anxious to pick. I'm not going to lie.
You should be.
Give me the Tigers.
So do I want to win or do I?
That was my
if
thing.
you take Ole Miss here, I'm going to give you hell forever.
Slight lean to the Rebs.
Okay.
Slight lean to the Rebs.
That.
Slight lean to the Rebs. I mean, I've said all week.
You
I think,
hate LSU.
No,
Why do
I
you
think-
hate LSU football
Trying to be
so
objective.
much?
I think
You've got the best quarterback in the league. You hate LSU.
You know I don't hate LSU. So my thing has always been all off season that I was picking LSU to win this game because of the spot. It's very hard to win back-to-back road conference games. Lane's 0-4, road ranked opponents. Ole Miss is a better team, and I think do worry about LSU. I just this is a carbon copy of USC, and LSU couldn't close that game when they had a lead in the fourth quarter, and I haven't seen anything from LSU in a month to tell me that it's going to be different this time. What?
Caden Durham didn't touch the ball against USC. That's the difference.
I understand that.
He's the difference
and
in
you
this
also had
in this
Harold
team.
Perkins and Jacobian Guillory on the field, and you don't now. And it's just, they're a good team, man. Like, I have no confidence in that pick whatsoever. Like, literally, my favorite play is, I've told you all week, is the under. I think this is a carbon copy of the USC game. I think this is a defensive game, and I think it's someone is going to have the ball in the final 2 minutes with a chance to go win the game. Let's see if LSU can do it.
I love it. I never thought I'd see the day Matt Moscona picked Ole Miss to
He's
beat
done it
LSU
before.
in Tiger Stadium.
I picked Ole Miss to beat LSU last year.
Well, the game was in Oxford. I feel like in Death Valley. Oh yeah, last
picked
year.
LSU.
Last year I was on it. I thought it was a rat line when LSU was 2.5.
I picked LSU to lose games in Tiger Stadium before. I'll tell you what I think.
I
All
like
right,
that.
we got to go, Mincy. Enjoy the weekend, but not too much. I hope you have a miserable time in Tiger Stadium.
Rufino's in a minute. Come see us. Big pregame party. Gordy Rush throwing it. Bunch of people going. Matt, you're going to go pop by too.
Be a good time, man. We're looking forward to it. We'll see you
Second
over
string
there.
tailgate. Tiger Island going to be throwing down tomorrow.
Let's go. All right, Mincy. We'll see you, man. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for more than 30 years. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com, or give him a buzz. 888-8888, 888-8888. Again, or go to getgordon.com. Hey, look, Gordon has helped injured people in our state and his team no matter what type of injury that you might be dealing with. If it's car wreck, truck wreck, a maritime, offshore, workers' comp claims. The bottom line is don't go it alone. You need representation. You can trust Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. It's not just helping people, and they've done that for more than 10,000 Louisiana residents, collecting more than $2 billion in damages. But it's also the way that Gordon's give back to the community. You know, around the holidays, it's the bike giveaway. During graduation season, it's the laptop giveaway. It's all the NIL deals that he's done to help student athletes. Gordon and his firm continuously gives back to the communities they serve. So you know what to do. You've been injured in an accident. Get Gordon and get it done.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Beckham backed up to the 11. Now he's got a little room. Now he's got more room. Now he's got blockers in front. Now he's almost untouchable. No flags, touchdown.
Odell Beckham, 2012, 89 yards up the east sideline. Shades and traces of Dr. Billy Cannon back in 1959 against Ole Miss. Odell, 89 yards up the same sideline against the same opponent. You always look to see what great memory may come of these games. LSU and Ole Miss will have an opportunity Saturday night in Tiger Stadium. Chris Phillips will be there, SEC Unfiltered. He's in town. How are you, man?
Matt, what's going on, man? Pleasure to chat with you once again. And, we're sitting right now in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, man. Could be happy to be here and excited for tomorrow night. I know it's going to be one of the most raucous atmospheres in college football this season.
Hey, man, when you were making your plan and schedule for the tour, why'd you pick Baton Rouge for this game? I mean, most would have circled Alabama.
Matt, this is funny. This is one that listen, I've had circle for weeks. I mean, I was hoping that it was going to line up, and I think we all thought it was going to line up as a key matchup for both LSU and Ole Miss in this season. But I did get to experience Tuscaloosa a couple weeks ago for that Bama-Georgia game, and was in Fayetteville last week for Tennessee-Arkansas. So LSU-Ole Miss has got a lot to live up to. But
so I meant when Alabama comes to Baton Rouge, not to go to Tuscaloosa. No, not for Alabama this weekend. I meant to come to Baton Rouge for the Ole Miss game instead of coming to Baton Rouge for the Alabama game.
Yeah, I mean, it just lined up well with our schedule, and I saw a guaranteed night game. It just came running, man. That was the big thing. So, and also, too, I'll be honest with you, Matt, the idea of the revenge factor because of Lane Kiffin last year, how the game went, what he did on social media over the last 8-9 months or so, you mixed all that together, and I think the Magnolia Bowl is one of the most underrated rivalries in the country. So that made it the perfect time for us to come down.
So Ryan Terrio's here with me, and he's very mad at me right now. He's not even talking to me. He's just sitting there pouting a little bit.
I'm not pouting.
I
was surfing the internet. You're
just
flipping through social media. I'm not pouting.
We just did our pick'em segment, Chris, and I have a slight lean to Ole Miss in this game. So I'm trying to be objective. He's very upset with me. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm on record, man. I got LSU winning this football game. Number one, I think there's on-field reasons. I think there's, intangibles that I don't really have to explain to anybody listening to this channel. That
you don't have to.
LSU at home at night. I think that speaks for itself. What Death Valley is. I mean, there's a reason Ole Miss hasn't won there in over 15 years, and it's going to be again a madhouse tomorrow night. On the field, I think LSU can test Ole Miss like they haven't been tested, especially vertically in the passing game.
That's true.
I know Ole Miss has been really, really good defensively, but I think LSU's offensive line is going to come in with a point to prove. They haven't seen a line that good. I understand they've dominated Kentucky and South Carolina, but again, it kind of speaks for itself, the competition they faced. And, I've been saying this since the summer, and I could be wrong, but I think LSU defensively, the biggest difference in them from last year to this year is they're going to be able to get that stop or two they couldn't get last year. I don't think they're going to be great, but I do think they're going to be able to get that key stop. And Ole Miss offensively, they haven't looked. Let's take away the first 4 games against non-conference competition. They haven't looked like we expected. They've had trouble running the football. Ulysses Bentley is on a milk carton at this point. And even I know Trey Harris is probably going to play. Is he really 100%? And if he's not, who steps up outside of him? So I think LSU will be able to get that key stop or two they need. I trust Garrett Nussmeier in this passing game and the weapons on the outside. I think it opens it up for the run game. And I really like what I've seen from LSU's running back room. I think they'll use that vertical passing game. I think it's going to be a thriller, but I got LSU 34-30 winning.
You said 34-31?
34-30.
34-30, okay.
Chris, where did you go to college?
So I actually went to a small college called Newberry College in South Carolina.
Yeah.
I was a D2 baseball player.
Where are you from?
Yeah.
Where are you from, Chris?
Yeah, I'm from South Carolina. Yeah, born and raised in South Carolina.
So you're not from Baton Rouge, didn't grow up being an LSU fan, none
not,
of that
not
stuff.
Listen, I'm totally objective.
Yeah.
I promise you, my pick has nothing to do with the fact that I'm in the belly of the beast in the bayou and scared for my life if I went the other way. No, I'm kidding. I objectively, genuinely think LSU is going to win the football game. I was super high on Ole Miss coming into the season. I still think they're a really good football team, but they got a lot to prove to me, man. I just think that Kentucky game, they lost a lot of good faith and goodwill with me. And I think LSU offensively coming off. I mean, listen, we're not even talking about this either. This is Ole Miss's 7th consecutive game. I know Lane Kiffin is trolled with the injury report, and they're faking injuries left and right, playing dead dog, as you like to call it. But they are banged up, and I think LSU coming off the bye week, there's something to be said for that at home at night. LSU, in my opinion, just feels like the right pick in this game.
I mean, I feel like you're trying to maybe get on air in Oxford with this show. I mean, there's got to be something that you're trying. There's an angle here. I mean,
stop it.
You know everything about every LSU sport. Like this is your thing. And Chris, this is every point that he just made is
I agree with all of them.
Legit.
And I've said all of them.
And plus, Dart does the stupid ass face
Now,
paint
that's true.
on.
That's a good
so
reason
he's
to pick
losing. Dude, he's losing cred for me. If he thinks every game's Halloween.
That is a good reason.
And he knows every word to every Sexy Red song.
I don't even know what Sexy Red is.
Oh, man.
no.
I don't even know what that means.
You need to just listen to that on the way home. Anyway.
Should I?
Yeah, Sexy Red's good.
Okay, I got it.
I did love the Grim Reaper costume that Moscona was wearing a few days ago. That was a nice touch.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. It was my pleasure to continue trolling the hell out of every Alabama fan for as long as I possibly can. Chris Phillips, SEC
Absolutely.
Unfiltered. He'll be in Baton Rouge, be in the stadium Saturday night in Death Valley. I mean, look, everything you just said, I agree with. I mean, I don't have a strong feeling about this game. I have a strong feeling about the under, but I think it's going to be a 4-quarter game where someone's going to have the ball with a chance to win it in the final 2 minutes. I don't know if LSU can get that stop.
Therefore, because you're born and raised here and love LSU, if you don't have a strong feeling, you should pick LSU. That's what.
Or I could pick the better team, and Ole Miss is the better team. They are.
I mean, if I oversimplify it, guys, you could argue it's Garrett Nussmeier against Jackson Dart. Boys, the stage is set. Let's go out and have a good old-fashioned quarterback duel. I mean, that's kind of how I see this game as well. It could play out. And I will say the one thing that worries me a little bit, I was in the building a couple weeks ago in Columbia and watched Garrett Nussmeier make some baffling mistakes that obviously didn't cost him in that game because of some untimely penalties from South Carolina. He may not and probably will not get away with those kind of mistakes in a football game of this magnitude. So we know what his ceiling is. If he can raise the floor and just eliminate those mistakes, I think he can have a big night. But to me, that's one of the top keys of the game for the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Protect the football. It's just, against USC, the ball just literally didn't bounce LSU's way. They forced 3 fumbles, recovered none of them. I mean, any one of those possessions, it goes the other way. Again, I just think this is a very close ball game. My hope is that it's just a magical night in Tiger Stadium, one of those games we talk about forever, where someone goes and solidifies, legend status by making a play late in the 4th quarter. And I would love nothing more than that. But you're asking me my opinion. I mean, I think Ole Miss is a better team. I think LSU's got some real issues defensively that we've talked about all year. And so I'm not going to ignore that against a really good offense. So anyway, close game. What?
Cool.
Why?
It's going to be cool weather.
This
place is going to be packed. I mean,
listen, last 2 weeks I've seen instant classics at the stops we've been at. I would be shocked if tomorrow night we don't get more of the same. To your point, I would expect this to go down to the wire. It could be a last team with a football kind of game, or some team needs to stop. It very well. I would be really surprised if it's anything other than that.
Chris Phillips, SEC Unfiltered. You'll follow him on all social media channels. Again, at SEC Unfiltered, Twitter, X, Instagram, all that stuff there. Hey, last thing, what other one on the card for the SEC is most intriguing for you tomorrow?
Most intriguing, I think I'd have to go with the Red River Shootout. First time as an SEC matchup. I know what the spread says that Texas is a 14.5-point favorite, but you talk to anybody in Oklahoma has all but dominated this rivalry. I think it's really important on both sides. I think Oklahoma's playing a little bit more with house money, not as much to lose, right? They're super banged up. And there's nothing more scary, guys, than a pit bull back in the corner who hadn't eaten in a couple of days, right? And feels like he's got nothing to lose. So then you got Texas on the other side, who I think obviously with that number 1 ranking, and I think they feel like they kind of want to set this new tone, if you will, with the rivalry beginning its SEC debut or its SEC tenure. They want to set a new tone, right? They just, for whatever reason, haven't been able to do so. So it's big for them. The return of Quinn Ewers, And again, you talk to anybody, I mean, that rivalry is one of the best in the country, not just college football, but just one of the best college rivalries, period. So that's the one I'll be keeping an eye on, but certainly there's many others across the SEC that are fascinating. If last week taught us anything, take nothing for granted, boys, because you just never know.
Make sure you imbibe tomorrow. It'll be a good time.
Yeah. Hey, for sure. Listen, I'm open to any and all suggestions, by the way. The hospitality in Baton Rouge has been second to none at this point.
Y'all see Chris hopping around, man. Make sure you take care of him out on campus. Chris Phillips, SEC Unfiltered. Thanks, man.
Hey, Matt, Ryan, great talking with y'all boys. Have a good one.
Our pleasure, man. Be well. We'll knock out a final break of the show. Ask Ryan to wrap up the show next.
After further review.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Hey, look, if you're heading out to your tailgate this weekend, either for the purple and gold or for the black and gold, remember, make Rouse's part of your tailgate weekend. You want party platters, tailgate trays, they got you. You want big trays of ribs or pork or chicken, whatever it is, and all the sides. Just call them, tell them what you want, pick it up on your way out to campus. They'll take care of everything for you over at Rouse's. You need all the beverages, both for the children and for the adult beverages as well. Tons of beer, lots of Louisiana craft beer. Of course, all your spirits. You're going to be pouring some little brown water in your cup.
Maybe so.
It's about that time of year to do that. You better believe your boy is going to partake a little bit. Nicer weather. Rouse's. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. The official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. 70 locations across the Gulf South. Rouse's, this feels like home.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
He stands on his own 28. He gets a pass from center. He boots it and gets another nice kick away going way downfield. Billy Cannon watches it bounce. He takes it on his own 11. He comes back upfield to the 15, stumbles momentarily. He's at the 20, running hard at the 25, gets away from 1 man to 30, still runs at 25, at the 35, 25, he's down to 50, he's in the 50, 45, 20.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on Football Friday edition of AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. T-Bob and I will be at Don Juan tomorrow as soon as the game goes final. Of course, ask Ryan, are you embarrassed having to ask for help to reach for items on the top shelf at the grocery store?
Who said that?
Greg.
I'm going to kick Greg's ass.
Greg Lane.
Yeah, I'm going to kick Greg Lane's ass. Absolutely.
Spencer Rattler's going to start for the Saints. Do you think they beat the Bucs on Sunday?
Oh, hell yeah. Watch this. Watch this guy. Pat Mahomes 2.0. Watch this. I got him, baby. Starting him on my fantasy team.
As indecisive as I am about LSU and Ole Miss, I am very decisive about this game. Oh, my God. Mash unit offensive line, a rookie quarterback, injured skill guys, no Taysom Hill. Give me a break.
Oh, we got it, bro. Watch this.
Saints season ends in about 9 days, unfortunately. All right, that'll do it for us. Shout out Don Juan Cigar Bar. T-Bob and I will be there as soon as the game goes final. Go Tigers. Make me look like an idiot, please. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
After further review.
I'm not going to see you tomorrow at 3. I'm gonna be getting ready for whiskey and wine and the LSU game. Be fired up for it. Hey, we're brought to you by Optimize, GeneratorPeople.com, GeneratorPeople.com. If you are thinking of buying a Generac automatic home standby generator, the first call, the only call you'll need to make is to Optimize. They are the generator people. You know, if you want a generator, you call the generator people. Just like if you want a roof, you call a roofing company. If you got a clog, you need a plumber. If you need a generator, you call the generator people. You don't call an HVAC company that also does generators. You don't call you don't call an industrial kitchen company that also does generators. I mean, you call the generator people. Optimize, that's all they do. They sell, service, install Generac automatic home standby generators. They sell more Generac automatic home standby generators than any other Generac dealer in the state of Louisiana. They got 4 physical locations from Lake Charles to Slidell, anywhere in between on the 1012 corridor. And remember, you got a $600 for a down payment. They got financing for any budget. GeneratorPeople.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.